Right guys, we are live. Welcome. It's Friday night. You're very welcome to the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel. I'm your host Craig and this is the Late Night Agenda. As we always say guys, this is your show. So you let us know the things you want to talk about. Obviously they're going to be LFC related. Obviously we've got a lot to get through. You can see by the title of the stream tonight, Reds going to the bridge to look for redemption. I've no doubt it's going to be a much stronger Liverpool team than we've seen on Wednesday. But look, as I said, this is your show. Let us know what you want to have a chat about. We'll wait for the chat to fill up and then we'll get going. So just bear with us while some people come into the chat. This is the awkward part of the show, isn't it? The part where you're sitting around going, I could just start talking, start talking about little bits and pieces about the Reds, but at the end of the day, I'm going to have to repeat myself when the people come into the chat. So let's just hang around, see who pops in, see who's around tonight, and see what people want to have a chat about. Lindsay has joined. How are you, Lindsay? Great to have you with us. Lots to get through tonight. I have my agenda done up. Want to have a chat about Shaqiri. Want to have a chat about Jurgen Klopp, of course, and his thoughts ahead of the game. You've seen Jurgen Klopp's press conference today with some nice words from Sarri as well. Lots of bits and pieces to get through, but as I always say, guys, this is your channel. You let us know what topics you want to talk about. Farewell, Lindsay. How are you? I'm great, Lindsay. Thank you. How are you? Cannot tell you how happy I am, and I know you may not be a boxing fan. You might not care about this, but guys, I am over the moon that Callum Smith has just won the World Boxing Super Series and of course the Super Middleweight title, beating George Groves. I'm over the moon. Massive fan of the Smith brothers. Followed them for years in boxing. Love it. Kieran's there as well. Look mate, I'm over the fucking moon. Literally buddy, I am over the moon about this one. And Kieran, you mightn't believe me, you mightn't believe that I backed him, but look, I'm going to show you something here buddy. Going to show you my bet slip. Well, you can't see it in the screen because it's blue. Yeah, 270 quid. I stuck 45 quid on Callum Smith to win by TKO or KO at 5-1, mate. I'm over the fucking moon for both him and myself. Look, this is a Liverpool stream. We'll talk about Liverpool, of course, but the Smith brothers are massive fans of Liverpool Football Club. They are huge in the city of Liverpool. Anybody who knows anything about boxing in the city knows who the Smith brothers are. Paul came so close to winning a world title twice against Arthur Abraham. Couldn't quite do it. Liam Beefy Smith, of course, held the world title, lost that to Canelo Alvarez over in Dallas. But tonight, what they believe to be the best of the bunch of the Smith brothers, the youngest one, Callum Mundo Smith, went over to, is it Jeddah? I think it was Jeddah was the name of the place, to fight George Groves, who was ranked number 1 in the super middleweight division in the world, to fight for that WBO title, I think it was, or WBC, and the Muhammad Ali trophy. So for him to win that fight and stop George Groves, Callum Mundo Smith has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. He has arrived in boxing. Everybody who knew anything about boxing knew who he was, but now the kid is going to be a superstar. As you've probably seen if you watched the fight tonight, lots of love for those Smith brothers, man. We'll get to Liverpool. I'm sorry to start the stream off with something non-Liverpool related, but I'm a massive fan of the Smith brothers. Paul Smith has been amazing to me over the years. He's brought me over to see Callum's fights, given us tickets in the really good section, sent stuff over to us for autism charities. Cannot speak highly enough of the Smith brothers and the entire Smith family. So congratulations to Callum Smith on winning that world title. I'm almost getting emotional here thinking about it, but as I said, this is a Reds channel, so we're going to get back to Liverpool. Apologies about that different start to the stream tonight, guys, but it's an emotional night for anybody connected with boxing or anybody who's a fan of the Smith brothers. Right. So, Kieran says, fucking so happy. I gather that's about the Smiths as well. Go on, Craig, said Tonic. How are you, sir? Lindsay said, I'm great, Craig. Thanks for asking. Hope to see him bringing the belts to Anfield next week. Well, he wants to fight, Kieran, at Anfield. He's made no secret of it. He'd like to defend the titles at Anfield. He fought on the undercard of Tony Bellew's fight at Goodison Park, and he said that he just thought to himself the whole time, this will be so much better at Anfield. So, fingers crossed. That'll happen for Callum Smith, and I can promise you one thing: if he's fighting at Anfield defending those world titles, I'm going to be fucking there. Come hell or high water, I'm getting over to that fight. A few more people in the chat. Excuse me again, guys, for this weird start to the stream, but it's not very often you get big nights like this for people that you respect and love and admire. So just delighted again for the entire Smith family. Where are we? What's the crack? Hey Craig, said Frankie. Hello Craig, what's the VVD situation? Yeah, it's touch and go. He didn't train today. He has travelled down. Actually, do you know what? We'll start on this. On Virgil van Dijk, because a couple of people are going to ask. This is what, do you know what we might as well do? We might as well put a cut point here, guys, and start the stream from here, because it was pure boxing before then. So let's go again. Welcome. You're welcome, everybody, to tonight's Late Night Agenda. I'm your host, Craig. You're very welcome to the channel. We were speaking about boxing a little bit earlier, but now it's all about the Reds. First question of the night came in from Paul, and Paul wants to know what the story is with Virgil van Dijk. Now, to my knowledge, he's travelled down to London with Liverpool for the game. He didn't train today, Friday, and he didn't train yesterday, of course. So it's going to be really, really touch and go. He will have a chance to train tomorrow morning, and that's his last option to prove his fitness to the manager. If he doesn't train tomorrow morning, then we're probably looking at Dejan Lovren or Joe Matthew partnering Joe Gomez. Now, that's not a bad thing. Both those are very capable defenders, but when you're going down somewhere like Stamford Bridge for such a big game, you want to have your best. And let's be honest about this, Virgil van Dijk is the best defender we currently have. So not going into the game with him would be a bit of a setback. Wouldn't be what I'd call a deadly setback. Like, it's something that I think we could get over, but you want to go into these games with your best players. So fingers crossed, tomorrow Virgil van Dijk plays some part in training and he can start the game. But the way things are looking now, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't be betting from the start. But that's just my opinion. Night everybody, hate that we lost on Wednesday, but love that I can finally be nervous about a match, said Greg. It's brilliant. I cannot wait for this one tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. It should be an absolutely cracking game. It was nice to see Sarri come out with some lovely comments towards Liverpool. And usually when a manager says things like this, you wonder to yourself, is he just being a little bit smarmy, or is he just having a little sly dig or trying to put pressure on? But I don't think he was. I think he was just being very honest about his thoughts about Jurgen Klopp and this Liverpool team, and it was nice of Sarri to say it, so well done to him on that one. And of course, you know, Klopp responded with some lovely comments about Sarri and Chelsea as well, because they both had an amazing start to the season. Chelsea dropped their first points last weekend after picking up a draw at West Ham, and obviously Liverpool 6 for 6 in the Premier League, so it's a big game at the Bridge tomorrow. My favourite kick-off time of the weekend. Love 5:30 on a Saturday. I've spoken about this before. It just feels like a proper time to play a football match of this magnitude. Underneath the lights, well, look, the game will start in brightness, but it'll finish up underneath the lights, and the atmosphere will just be a lot better. The game will be a lot more intense, and I think it was a good call by the TV companies to pick this one as a 5:30 kickoff. Ryan said, if we have to choose, I'd rather VVD played the two following games, said Ryan. And of course, it's a good point that Ryan's making there, because we do have games coming up against Napoli during the week, and of course against Manchester City next weekend before we head into the international break. Yes, another international break. For those of you who are perhaps wondering, there will be another one. Unfortunately, FIFA, UEFA, whoever the fuck makes these decisions in their infinite fucking wisdom, have decided to put another international break in October, so the managers can get absolutely no rhythm together with their teams. But anyway, we've business to do before then, don't we? Three tricky games, actually. I was about to say two. I forgot we still haven't played Chelsea yet. 3 tricky games to go. And as Ryan has said, he would rather rest Van Dijk for this one if it meant he was going to be fit for the next two, rather than perhaps play a semi-fit Virgil van Dijk and risk on picking up an injury that may keep him out for the following 2 games. So I fully understand where you're coming from there, Ryan, mate. It's tricky because of Chelsea's aerial threats, excuse me, Tonic. If no Virgil, then Matip, we need the height. The thing about Joe Matip I always find weird is maybe this is just my perception of Joe Matip, but I don't find him great defensively in the air, which is weird because he seems to appear in the opposition's box quite well, as we've seen him scoring a goal a couple of weeks ago. But for me, defensively, I don't think he's that great. I think he can be bullied too easily, but that could be just a complete misperception on my behalf. Watched last night's stream, Craig. I was asleep. Hope you had a great night, said Luke. It was good, buddy, yeah. Had a great time out, thank you. Came home, did a bit of an impromptu stream. Nothing really planned. Hadn't got an agenda. Just jumped on. Said we'd have a chat. And there was one thing that's doing quite well, actually, on Twitter today. It was a little comment about somebody who wanted Klopp out and Gerrard in. Now, I don't want to go through it all again, but the same fucking idiot commented today. And Rap had a bit of a chat with him as well, actually, on today's comment. He commented something similar that, look, he needs to go out, Gerrard needs to come in, we're going to be taught a lesson by Sarri. And this idiot actually has his own channel, and this idiot actually fully believes that Jurgen Klopp isn't good enough. I'm not going to give him, I'm not going to highlight him by giving out his name, because I don't want to publicise that prick or his channel. But from the one Klopp out and Gerrard in, I mean, his channel, surely to God, that piece of shit channel must be on its arse and nobody watching it because he's a fucking idiot. That's the only way you can describe this guy. He's a fucking idiot. Good evening, everybody, said Patbot. Paul said, what's the injury of VVD? It was something to his ribs, mate, wasn't it? Do you remember last week he went down, he was holding his rib cage, and Klopp said he picked up a knock or something a while back, and it's not a new injury, it's something that's been hurting him for a while. Can't wait to smash them posh pig fucking Tory nonsense, said LFC_5. Now, that wasn't my comment, but, you know, I read these things out, don't I? If they come up on the screen, I'm reading them out. I'm like Anchorman. I'm like him. You just read anything that goes on the teleprompter. So if it comes up on my screen, this fucking idiot will read it. Right, guys. So a couple of things I wanted to have a chat about. We've seen at the end of the game during the week, there was a bit of an incident between Jurgen Klopp and Sheridan Shaqiri. I would say incident. We know what it was. But some opposition fans and the media have tried to play this one up to make it out like Klopp is losing his fucking mind and Klopp is screaming at players and so on and so forth. So I had a little dig around today, and I found some comments from Shaqiri. So Shaqiri's come out and explained exactly what the conversation with Jurgen Klopp was about. He said it was just a tactical thing. It was something off the free kick that we could have done better. In the end, Jordan took the free kick, and maybe that was not the best decision. So really simple, straightforward answer there from Shaqiri. The manager just wasn't happy with something right at the end of the game. He wanted the free kick taken differently. Henderson took it. He wanted Shaqiri to take it. It was something and nothing. It's just that Jurgen Klopp is a very emotional man, and he came on and he expressed himself. And you could see by Shaqiri, when Shaqiri was being spoken to by Klopp, sometimes you look at a situation and you can see that the two people just don't fucking like each other. Like, you see Pogba and Mourinho talking, and you can look at that and think they just don't like each other. Shaqiri just seemed to be taking in what Jurgen Klopp was saying and understanding that the manager wanted things done differently. You could see he was processing what the gaffer was saying. It was just a simple exchange of views, nothing more than that. So great to put that one to bed. Fair play to Shaqiri for coming out and mentioning it. And we all knew it was nothing, but of course the media, opposition fans always try and play these things up just to try and undermine the Reds. Second thing I wanted to have a chat about, guys, was that Klopp believes that the players will have learned a few lessons from the game against Chelsea during the week. Now, something that's been an observation that I've made over the past season or two with Klopp is that often at times, and I'd love to get your input on this one, guys, so please do let me know in the chat. Often at times as fans, we're screaming for substitutions. 60-65 minutes goes by in a game and things aren't going our way. We're saying bring on Henderson, bring on Mo Salah if he's on the bench, bring on Danny Sturridge, bring on whoever. We're screaming for a substitution to be made. And Jurgen Klopp is being accused, and I've been part of this. I have to say I've accused Klopp of this at times as well, of making substitutions too late in games. I think it's something we can all agree that has been a topic of conversation amongst Liverpool fans at one stage or another. So I had a little think about this over the past year or two, and I think I've come to the conclusion that Jurgen Klopp seems to be a manager that often speaks about problem solving and players solving problems on the field and learning from these situations. I read his comments again. I just want to read these ones out. I read his comments from the other night, and he was saying that in relation to the game against Chelsea on Wednesday, he hoped the player can learn from those situations and that they can take it into the game at the weekend, even though they'll be slightly different teams. So what I'm wondering is, does Jurgen Klopp let the players work these things out on the field? Does he give them that extra 10 or 15 minutes to try and change how the game is flowing, to see if they can work it out for themselves? Because we might think of a short-term gain bringing on a substitution trying to go win the game, but in the long term, Klopp letting these players have that extra few minutes on the field to work things out for themselves will give them experience in these situations moving forward. So it just got me thinking about a slightly different perspective from us screaming, make substitutions, bring somebody on, 65 minutes gone, nothing is happening, for fuck's sake, make a substitution. That's natural. We're fans, we see it's not working and we just want a solution. We want a quick solution, but from the manager's perspective, I wonder if that's why perhaps he leaves it that little bit later. That he likes the players to try and work these things out for themselves and problem solve on the field. So let's see how you guys are feeling in the chat anyway, and we'll go in and see what everyone's thoughts are on these subjects. Martin says, hello, couldn't find the stream there. Rib injuries are painful, and although not serious, they restrict movement. Not surprised. He's a doubt, to be honest. I get where you're coming from, Martin. In the position the Virgil van Dijk is in, especially, a lot of aerial duels, a lot of slide digs. You know, if he plays, there's going to be slide digs to the ribs. you'd expect nothing less from both teams. If there's any weakness in the opposition, you've got to try and exploit it however you can. So, as Martin has said there, a lot of stiffness, a lot of pain. So if he was to play, if there was any doubt, I wouldn't risk him either. So I fully agree with what Martin has said. Craig, it must have been Wenger saying Klopp out so we can get a job managing us. He's still not going to get the job though, Lindsay, let's be honest. Craig, my fellow Scouser, Callum Smith, new world champion. We were just speaking about that, Ant, before the stream. Well, we had two intros to the stream, really. We were just speaking about that one earlier on. Over the moon for Mundo, over the moon for the entire Smith family. Congratulations to him. I hope he gets to defend the title at Anfield, because I want to be there. It also wasn't directed at Shaqiri, it was just that Shaqiri was the closest to Klopp at the time, Jurgen said. So yeah, exactly, something and nothing around that situation. We'd never have a top player at our club pushing our manager out. No, not a fucking chance. Absolutely not going to happen. Mourinho and Pogba have digs at each other at every chance. There's nothing like that in our club. No, there isn't. You're right. I'm not inside the Manchester United camp, so I don't know what the attitude's like at training. I don't know what the players are like behind the scenes. All we know is what we're reading. And a couple of things have come out in the media over the last couple of days that there's been a few more players turned by Paul Pogba. I can't remember who the two were, but there was some story coming out of a Spanish paper or something that Pogba had convinced another couple of people that they were being mistreated, or that the manager had done something wrong or wronged him or the team in some way. This could, of course, be a Spanish newspaper just stirring shit trying to get Pogba to go to Barcelona, but it could also have some realm of truth to it. I don't know. Nor do I really care, because, you know, it's a Manx situation, but I was just using it as an example to show the difference between the two scenarios. It makes them like 70. He makes them 70 or 80 minutes in, said Lindsay, with regard to the substitutions. The answer is Klopp knows exactly what he's at, and we're all talking shite in the pub, said Brian. Do you know what, Brian, mate? I'd love to kind of have a go and come back and have a smart quip with you, but you're spot on, buddy. We are. We're all just sofa experts having a chat here, and none of us do pretend to be real experts. Brian's nailed it. Klopp knows what he's at. We're just fans having a chat and trying to play fantasy manager in our heads. But it's fun. It's what we enjoy. We're on here to talk as fans, so I completely get where Brian's coming from. In Klopp we trust, said Megan Nonke. Craig, if you got the blatant advertising on Redman TV, they've sold out. Cringy. Honestly, Paul, mate, I've said this before a couple of times. I don't get a chance to watch Redman TV or much other content, so I've no right to speak about the guys because I don't watch their content. So I'll leave that to other people. Look, they've got a shitload of subscribers, shitload of people that listen and watch their stuff. Lots of love to them for making Liverpool content, but I'm not right to comment on it because I'm not involved in any way, shape or form. I'll leave that to their subscribers or you guys that watch it to comment. I want you to comment on us though. I want you to be letting people know about Anfield Agenda. So if you're out there on any other streams, don't go spamming. Don't go spamming links on the stream. That's not right. But if you're in the chat, you're talking to people, let them know about the channel, because this is your channel, don't forget. We can call it Anfield Agenda, but Paul, it's your channel. Damo, it's your channel. Tom, Megan Donkey, all you guys, it's your channel. Junior, if you're out there, it's your channel too, buddy. Let people know about us. If you're watching the stream, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that little like button down below and help grow this amazing family. How do you feel about our players diving? I don't have a problem with Feldme go down, but diving without contact I can't stand. Naby and Shaqiri dove against Chelsea. Tonic, I do want to address this, mate. Just bear with me one sec, buddy. Apologies, bit of a dry throat. I get where you're coming from. It's a tough one because we will all criticise every single other player that dives against Liverpool Football Club without a fault. We'll scream at the television, scream at the game if we're live, watch it in the pub with our mates. We'll call them all diving bastards, cheating fuckers, everything we can. But we've got to be honest about this, and as Tonic has pointed out, say that our players have done it. Suarez was a fucker for it. Gerrard wasn't adverse to a little dive here and there as well. He gave a couple of examples there the other night about Naby Keita and Shaqiri. The honest answer is, mate, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to say. If they go down and it's blatant, you look like an idiot. They look like idiots. We all look like idiots trying to defend our players. But if they buy themselves a penalty or a free kick, we'll be the first ones to kind of pat them on the back. But at the same time, if it happened against us, we'd be complete hypocrites and call them cheating bastards. So it's one of those situations, I think, in football where we almost have to accept that a lot of us are hypocrites in that situation. But that's, again, part of the fun of being a fan and part of the joy of watching the game. You're allowed to be a hypocrite as a fan. You're allowed to have biased thoughts. You're allowed to scream abuse at other players if they dive and protect your own. If we were on BT Sports or Sky Sports, we'd probably have to be a little bit more level in what we're saying, but we're not. We're fans on here. But I do get your point. It's a tough one, but it's one of those for me where we almost have to accept we're hypocrites. I know there's going to be some of you out there who are saying you'll call our players on it as well, and I well believe that there are those type of people, but I'm a fucking hypocrite in these situations, so I can only really speak for me. Man United are an enigma wrapped in a puzzle inside a shithole, said Martin G. I was wondering where you were going with that one, Martin, when I started reading it, because that enigma wrapped into something can go many fucking places, but you nailed it, mate. Good ending. I like that it's my channel. I'll hold you to it, said Paul. That is not legally binding in any way, shape or form. I'm only joking, mate. This is a community channel. We keep saying it. It's everybody's channel. Nobody owns this motherfucker. I've noticed Salah making a few dives recently as well, said Lindsay. Yes, I'd agree. He has. We are hypocrites. We can be hypocrites, but we've got to try and be honest at times as well. Yes. Our forwards, our players have dived occasionally. It's all about the chat. Let's just remember Hickson Gillette, Roy Hodgson and Paul Konchesky. They were golden times, lads. Enjoy the ride. Fuck me, they were dark days, Brian. Jesus Christ. Trying to think back about Paul Konchesky wearing a Liverpool shirt. Christian Poulsen. Who else have we got? Fucking Joe Cole. Milan Jovanovic. I mean, they were dark days. Do you remember that transfer window where Hodgson standing there with Joe Cole, Jovanovic, and who was the other dude that we brought in from Rangers, the young centre back? I mean, fuck me, they were dark days. Like, now look at what we're bringing in. Now look at the manager that we have and the type of reinforcements that Klopp is bringing in. It's night and day. And what a difference it's been over the past 7-8 years at Liverpool Football Club. Right, guys, next topic I thought we'd have a little chat about is, bear with me. Right, so the gaffer, we said, was unsure about VVD, if he'd be available to take part tomorrow. So that leaves us with two able deputies. And I'm going to say able deputies because I don't like to talk down our own players, in Dejan Lovren and Joel Matip. In an ideal world, we'd have Virgil van Dijk to play alongside Gomez, but the gaffer doesn't really, he's not really giving out the vibes that Virgil van Dijk is going to be starting. So if it is the situation where Van Dijk can't quite make it and we've got Joe Gomez, who would you guys like to partner? Would you like to see Matip? Would you like to see Dejan Lovren? We spoke about this a little bit at the start of the stream. A couple of people had said they'd like Matip for the aerial presence that he gives. I'd probably edge towards Dejan Lovren personally. I just think Lovren's a better all-round defender. I know he has a moment in him. I understand that. I just think that he would be better to play alongside Gomez, in my humble opinion, than Joel Matip. But in saying that, I've got to be honest and say that Matip hasn't really put a foot wrong in the last two games. His range of passing, I think, has been excellent. He's put our players in over the top a few times. Obviously, he's scored as well. So there's a lot there for the pro Joel Matip camp to come out with as well. And it's a tough call. I hope we don't need to have this conversation. I hope Van Dijk plays. But if he can't, who do you guys want to see take his place? Somebody here just reminded us of Javier Manquillo. That was at least that was only a loan. At least we didn't buy him, Damo. Do we know who the ref is for tomorrow? Good question. Good question, Agnew. Has anybody got a clue who the fucking ref is tomorrow? I haven't even checked that one up yet. Danny Wilson, Brian. Thank you. That's the guy I was trying to think of. Danny Wilson. And they tried to convince us that he was going to be the next fucking Alan Hansen as well. We're just starting to catch up with the other teams in the diving department, says Megan Onke. Well, we're nowhere near Spurs. I mean, those fuckers are the kings when it comes to diving and falling over. Dele Alli could give a masterclass in diving. Megan Onke would like to see Dejan Lovren tomorrow. Tom would like to see Joe Matip. Andre Mariner, Junior, top man, thank you. Andre Mariner refereeing tomorrow. Not the worst of them, to be fair, Andre Mariner. He's not the worst of them. At least it's not Kevin fucking Friend. I don't want to see that fucker again for a very long time. Alpha G said, just joined in, up the motherfucking Reds. There you go, mate. Absolutely. Lovering because it's going to be his type of game, said Paul. Junior wants Joe Matip to play tomorrow. But VVD will start, he believes. Interesting. I don't think he will. I agree with an earlier comment that it would be a bit of a risk with the 2 games we have ahead to play him, but I'm saying this from a position of absolute ignorance. I have no idea how bad his injury is or how the man is feeling. I hope you're right, Junior, buddy. I hope he starts because, of course, I want Virgil van Dijk there. He'd make a massive difference to the team. Matip will replace Virgil van Dijk, said Lindsay. And do you reckon Shaqiri will play? I don't think he will, but hopefully he will. No, I don't, if I'm being honest. Let's have a crack at the team. It seems as good a time as any, Louis, to have a crack at the team. So, Alisson Becker in goal. I think we're all happy with that one. Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. Andy Robbo at left back. It's going to be Joe Gomez and A.N. Other at centre back. Is it going to be Virgil van Dijk? Fingers crossed. Could be Lovren, could be Matip. We'll have to push on from there because it's a guessing game. Midfield again is the interesting situation for me tomorrow. I don't see any reason to take out James Milner. I really don't. But then again, I don't see any reason to not play Gini Wijnaldum. So it's a really tough decision. I would probably go with James Milner, Jordan Henderson, and Naby Keita or Gini Wijnaldum. Either or for me tomorrow. I can't make the decision between which one. It's a tough call. Hand on heart right now, and I never thought I'd say this, I'd probably edge towards Gini Wijnaldum tomorrow over Naby Keita. And I'm a massive Naby Keita fan. I mean, really big fan. Like, he's one of the only players I've ever gotten on a shirt. That's how much I love the dude. But I don't think he's quite got to the level he will get to just yet. Whereas Gini Wijnaldum has been shit hot this season so far. But again, I wouldn't be at any way displeased for any combination of those midfielders to play because I think they've been all excellent. One thing I'd be really confident about is I'd be amazed if we see Fabinho start that game tomorrow. And not because I feel he did anything wrong in midweek. I just still don't think he's up to that level just yet. With maybe his fitness, but certainly with his ability to fit into our tactical situations and the way Klopp's looking to play. He looked a little bit stale during midweek, but he played okay. I don't think he did much wrong. But for me, I'd probably go with Milner, Jordan Henderson and Gini Wijnaldum. Just nodding it for me ahead of Virgil van Dijk, or ahead of, Naby Keita. Right, so who have we got? Kevin Friend deserves to get bottled. The mug, said LFC_5. I think Shaqiri will start ahead of Mane against Napoli, said Junior. That's a good shout actually, mate. That is a good shout. And it's probably a good place and a good time to rest Mane as well ahead of Manchester City. Megan Onke's going for a midfield of Keita, Milner and Gini. Luke said Hendo will start. He wants to murder Hazard. Brian Morrissey says, not what I'd say, but I think he'll go Milner, Gini and Hendo. Exactly the same as me, buddy. I think you're thinking along the same lines. Junior said Alisson, Trent, VVD, Gomez, Robbo, Hendo, Gini, Milner, Salah, Bobby, Mane. I can't see any changes in the front three either, to be fair. Why would you? They're three of the best in the business, so like you guys, I'm going to say that that's probably going to be unchanged, but it's Jurgen Klopp, so you never know. Kieran said, as long as Gini's in that midfield, I'll feel safe. And it's great to see the love Gini Wijnaldum's getting, because he used to be beaten with that stick that he couldn't score away from home, but fuck it, he scored away from home this season, but on top of that, he's been excellent. He's been one of the best players of the season so far. Himself and James Milner for me have been excellent. And of course Andy Robertson and Trent as well. And Virgil van Dijk. And I could probably keep going, which is the beautiful thing. Lindsay's lineup would be Alisson, Trent, Matip, Gomez, Andy Robbo, Gini, Keita, Hendo, Salah, Firmino and Mane. Who would let me say Robertson, Gini, Keita? Yeah, the only difference there, you have Keita in ahead of James Milner. And again, I can completely understand somebody making that choice. Paul said Milner is the man with Gini and Keita. Brian Morris, he said, too big a game for the new boys. Keita off the bench. Again, totally agree, Brian. Exactly my way of thinking as well. Christopher said, Alisson, Robbo, Trent, Van Dijk if fit. If not, Lovren, Gomez, Milner, Gini, Keita, Mane, Bobby, Salah. It seems most of us are thinking along the same lines. It's just a couple of different combinations in the midfield. Some don't have Henderson in, some do. Some don't have Milner, some do. It's great to see most people, though, wanting to have Gini in there. It really is great to see the man get the credit that he deserves. Imran said, Alisson, and we know Imran loves the starting 11. Alisson, Trent, Virgil, Gomez, Robbo, Fabinho. He loves Fabinho. It's not going to happen tomorrow, buddy. You're going to be disappointed again. Keita, Gini, Salah, Firmino, Shaqiri. I just can't see it. If I may, honest to God, I can't see him playing Fabinho against Chelsea away tomorrow. I just don't think it makes any sense. Luke's going for Gini, Hendo, Milner. Gini, Hendo, Milner solid. Keita as an impact sub. Jaden said, in my opinion, I think Gini's shit. Am I really a big fan? I think it should be Milner, Henderson, Keita. Look, Jaden, mate, you're entitled to your opinion. Absolutely. You're wrong. You're very, very wrong about Gini being shit. But it's your opinion, mate, and I'll leave it with you. Problem is when we don't dive as good as the other teams. Look, the Klopps are done with Robertson. Bided his time and got him to the Liverpool midfield. Same thing will happen with Fabinho and Naby, said Martin. Spot on. It did take time. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as well, Martin. Even though he was a Premier League player, he was still held back, and it still took time before he got slotted in and was trusted to play every single, well, I say every game, most games in the starting 11. But when those players came in, when Klopp felt it was the right time for them, they didn't disappoint. They came in, hit the ground running, and did pretty damn well. So I've no doubt that the same will happen with Fabinho, and Keita will play himself into the league. It's going to take a bit of time. We can see flashes of how good he is. That Cruyff turn at the start of the season as well, and that pass, it was just fucking beautiful. I'm still thinking about it. By the way, slightly off topic, did anybody see the goal for Sheffield Wednesday today? The first goal of the game against Leeds. Fucking hell. If you guys haven't seen that goal, go back, Google it, look on Twitter, somebody will have it. Sheffield Wednesday versus Leeds, the first goal of the game for Sheffield Wednesday. My God, you will struggle to see a better goal all season. It was an absolute worldie. And we've seen a few worldies already this season, but this one was right up there, guys. Tonic said we need a team of disruptors. Again, I completely understand where you're coming from with that comment. We do need to break up play tomorrow. I don't know if Fabregas is going to start for Chelsea. He probably won't. But whether it be Fabregas or Jorginho, we need somebody to be in his face and not give him the time on the ball, because Fabregas probably got a little bit too much time in the first half, but Jorginho is the fulcrum for Chelsea. Everything in the midfield will go through him. He passes the ball more than any other player in the Premier League. We need to get in his face. We need to press him. We need to try and force errors. If you can force them errors in midfield or somewhere between the line of midfield and their defence, then we can turn off a play and get at them very fucking quickly. And we've seen from the second half at Anfield during the week, Chelsea aren't adverse to mistakes when under pressure. They're there, we can get at them. It's just not going to be easy because they're a very well drilled team under Sarri. But so are we. So is this Liverpool team. And I would say, pound for pound, we probably have more quality than that Chelsea team do, in my humble opinion. A few more comments coming in. I see Jace has joined the chat as well. Jace, great to have you in with us, sir. It'll all be okay if Gini starts, said Navarro. Brian said, all the Spurs fans saying they didn't need new players. Look at the effect Fabinho and Keita signs have had on Gini and Milner. Their form has been brilliant. They're playing for their lives because of the competition. And that's it, as Brian has said. Sometimes, just those one or two players coming in, and it was a little bit more for us this summer, but with regard to the Spurs, sometimes those one or two players coming in can give you that kick up the arse, can make you fight for your place, can freshen things up, can bring in a new mentality into the dressing room, can just increase competition, and increasing competition improves performance levels. It's proven time and time again in the Premier League, and it's something that Klopp has spoken about previously as well. But he does like to see players improve, and that's one way of getting an improvement from players, just making their place feel under pressure. Jamie Carragher used to say he didn't really have a season at Liverpool for the first 5 or 6 years where he didn't feel like somebody was trying to replace him every single season. We need a team of disruptors. We've gone through that one already. Where's Jace's comments? There we go. Who remembers Craig's paracetamol from last week? Not sure what that comment's made about me, about paracetamol. Yeah, I did take your paracetamol last week, but no fucking idea what the comment's about. Unless you're insinuating, of course, that I was swallowing other types of pills, but chance to be a fine thing, mate. No, not in this day and age, unfortunately. They were paracetamol, but I fucking wish I could be lashing pills over. Unfortunately, married, 2 children, those days are long behind me. Jay said, hi all, hope everybody's well and looking forward to our first team beating the Plastics tomorrow. Love the positivity, Jace. I'm feeling pretty confident going into this one. Maybe that's because I'm happy. I'm not happy, but I'd accept a point away at Chelsea tomorrow. I'm not going to be on here whinging if you go and get a draw. I would like us to win. I believe we're fully capable of going there and getting a win. But in the grand scheme of things, as I keep saying, a point away at Stamford Bridge when the points are tallied up at the end of the season cannot be seen as a bad thing. But we are capable of winning. I do have to keep adding that caveat in so people don't come back at me. We need revenge, said Junior. Milner does need a rest. He'll be fresh against Napoli and Manchester City, said Imran. They're 2 massive games. Napoli is probably the one I won't say we can rest players for, or we can definitely change a few players around, because Man City, again, is the bigger game. Napoli is away. It's great to go away and try and pick up points in the Champions League, but your home form is the really important one in the Champions League. 3 wins at home and 1 win away. Whether you pick Red Star Belgrade and try and get it there, or whether you fancy your chances against PSG. The way the fixtures have piled up for us, this Napoli game has probably come at a time where I think Jurgen Klopp, he probably wouldn't publicly say it, but I think he may be happy to take a point away from Napoli. Not that he'd ever send his team out to get a point, but again, with the team selection, we might see a couple of players rotated and rested ahead of what will be a massive, massive game next weekend against Manchester City. And we all know what it feels like to head into the international break on the back of a disappointing result. We've been here before. So we want the Reds to get that result next weekend against City. It could send us into that international break fucking flying, and looking forward to the Reds back in action again. Genie has been our most important player in my opinion. He's been involved in a lot of our winning goals, said Kieran. He's been class, mate. Really has been class this season. And again, I keep saying this about Genie, but we could give this to any one of our midfielders. He can play in any position across that midfield. He can even play in the 10 if necessary. Klopp loves that, and we spoke about it on the stream time and time again. Klopp loves versatile players, and there's very few players you can look at in our system or in our entire team and think they couldn't play somewhere else if need be. I'm struggling now to even think of one. Yeah, there's very few. Almost all of our players are multifaceted in that they can play in a few different positions. Robbo is probably the only one off the top of my head I could think about, but even at that, I'd fancy to switch him to the right. I think he'd do a good job. He'd probably even do a decent job a little bit further forward if needs be. But see, I was struggling there. That's probably the best one I could come up with, and that's still a stretch. Yeah, you should have rested Mane on Wednesday, said Joseph. Wait, bro, I didn't mean to say he's shit. Oops, but I think he's not that good. Sorry, Craig. That's alright, mate. We all have players who we not dislike, but we don't rate as much as others. And fair play to you for coming in and putting your comment in there to correct yourself, buddy. Look, if you're not his biggest fan, that's sound, buddy. You're not on here calling the guy a prick. You're not on social media calling him out. You're allowed not to think as highly of some players as others. I mean, we all have our favourites, let's be honest. I just think that this season he has upped his game a level, and he finished last season very strongly as well. I was so happy for him when he got that goal over in Rome. Just to get that one off his back, because I'm fucking sick of people moaning about him not scoring away from home. But look, great for you to put that in, Jaden Way. Well done. Neil Anthony said, I'd make a tactical change, play Keita on the left, leaving Mane on the bench, Milner on the right to stop Alisson, with Genie and Hendo in the centre, with Salah and Firmino up top. Play Keita on the left. I'm just going through this, trying to process it, mate. Bear with me. Play Keita on the left, Mane on the bench. That's a big call, and as you said, you're changing the system around. I'd be amazed to see a change of system with so little coaching time for the players in between. Usually if you're going to try and work on a change of system, it will be where there's a 2-week gap, or at least a full week for Klopp to coach the players through. There's only been Wednesday to Saturday, so For a tactical tweak like that, again, call me naive, but I would have probably thought it would be unwise to do with such a short distance between the two games. Mary's gone. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. Mark my words, my dream always delivers. Look, Mary, if you're right with 1-0, I will be investing in you to pick my fucking lotto numbers tomorrow. There, Papbot's put a link into the Sheffield Wednesday goal. It's an absolute worldie. Lindsay's gone for 3-1 to Liverpool. Salah, Gini, Keita and Hazard. Harry Wilson's goal was a belter as well, said Imran. Yeah, that free kick for Derby County against Manchester United. I'm sure everybody's seen it at this point. It was stunning. Absolutely stunning. Plastic is bad for the environment, said Navarro. You said you wanted to get close to Reds and you said paracetamol was you anti-touching red tablets. No idea what that says. You said you wanted to get close to Reds and you said the paracetamol was you anti-touching red tablets. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, Lindsay. Sorry, I don't know what you're trying to say. For me, falling VVD, it's failing VVD, it's Lovren. He's vocal. I'm thinking a draw. And Genie is brilliant, said Liverbird 1. Tomorrow, fire should be in our belly. And so should revenge, said 1 Liverpool. Mary again, just reiterating 1-0 to the Reds is her thoughts. If we want to win the league, we need to be winning games like tomorrow, said Kieran. And again, yeah, it's a fair point. Because if you were talking about Manchester City here, and you're talking about last season, the way that league was going, you would fully have expected them to go to Stamford Bridge and get the 3 points. So Kieran's right. If we fancy ourselves as league champions, we should be looking to go there and get the 3 points tomorrow. Agent Mane tapping up Sarr and Koulibaly while he's away with the national team. Damn right. Wouldn't mind either, to be fair. Koulibaly, I don't know, he's 27 now, isn't he? Going around 28. I underrated him massively over the past couple of seasons. He's a tank of a fella. Alpha G says, fuck it, Craig. At centre back, give Giroud a right old Irish bollocking. Mate, you don't want me playing at centre back. I'd be fucking useless. I'd be beyond useless, honestly. I'd make Lovren look like fucking Maldini. Question, Craig, would you take Pogba at Liverpool and whose place would he take? Asks Brian Morrissey. No, absolutely not. And not because of his talent as a footballer, just because of the disruptive influence in the dressing room. So, no, and any player that would bring more of Mino Raiola to the club for any reason is a massive no for me, because that fat fucking slob of a waste of space, money grabbing, taking the fucking out of the fans' pockets cunt should be slaughtered as far as I'm concerned. I fucking despise those agents, especially those super agents like Raiola. So yeah, no to Paul Pogba at the club because he's a diva and we don't like divas. We don't need them. Yeah, he can be a brilliant player on his day, but he can also be a little fucking whinge bag and we don't need them at the club. But Mino Raiola can go fuck himself. And anyone that's represented by him should look to move on, in my humble opinion, because he is just scum, taking money out of the game, out of fans' pockets, and doing fucking nothing for his money. I just do not like agents like him one bit. And there are some amazing agents out there doing great work for their clients. But when you're talking about the sums of money that this guy gets, and George Mendes, and a few of the other Pina Javi, and what's that other guy as well that was involved in the Mascherano deal? I can't think of his name. Kia Jarapchin, that's the guy. The fucking money these guys are making. Neymar's agent and his father. It's disgusting. The hundreds and hundreds of millions being taken out of the game, taken out of fans' pockets, forcing up the price of season tickets, forcing up the price of kits, stopping fathers from being able to afford to bring their sons and daughters, and not just fathers, parents being able to bring their sons, daughters to games. It's sickening. These pricks should be eroded out of the game. And I love the idea that was muted recently, that players start paying the agents and that the clubs have nothing to do with it. The clubs just refuse to pay them any more money, and it's up to the players to pay them a percentage of the deal, like every other sport. I feel very strongly on this agent thing, by the way. It's something you've probably heard me speaking about numerous times. It's just disgusting the way it's gone. They're getting, what was it? Somebody said that Paul Pogba's deal, I think, could pull me up on this one if I'm wrong. I think Mino Raiola pocketed something like 40 odd million quid for Paul Pogba's transfer to Manchester United. Now again, feel free to pull me up on this one if I'm wrong. It was an exorbitant figure. Whatever, it was in excess of 30. I'm fairly sure it was 42, 43 million, something like that. How the fuck does he deserve that? How the fuck can that fat slob justify 43 million quid? Tell me I'm fat shaming all you want, by the way. I'm a fat cunt, I'm allowed to do it. He is an absolute fucking waste of time. He's a big fucking... What's your man's name? He's fucking Jabba the Hutt. That's what he looks like to me. I despise that prick. Of all the agents, he's the one I despise the most. And the fact that he's Paul Pogba's agent, it just seems like a match made in heaven, because he's a fucking diva as well. So I hope that answers your question, mate. I think I've been fairly clear that I wouldn't like Paul Pogba at United, or at Liverpool. I love him at United, just don't want him at Liverpool. So yeah, I think I've definitely answered your question there, Brian, mate. For fuck's sake, there's more international breaks. Will they ever fuck off and let the Premier League flow, said Joseph. It's the first one that particularly gets me, Joseph, mate. You're only back in September. I think you're 4 games into the season, and they're off already on another one. And they're only just about back from the World Cup, a lot of these players. The ones that got to the latter stages, some of them had only been a game or two back into the season, and they were turning around and heading straight back off. It's nonsense. Craig, who's the best player in the world? Lionel Messi, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. Don't even need to think about it. I don't buy into this Ronaldo nonsense. Ronaldo is supremely talented. He is a stunning footballer who's done amazing things and deserved some of the Ballon d'Ors that he's won. Absolutely. Not taken away from Ronaldo. But Lionel Messi's on a different planet, as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely different planet. But if Lionel Messi put in the work rate that Cristiano Ronaldo has to his career, I can't even imagine how good Lionel Messi would have been. And I'm not saying Lionel Messi hasn't worked hard. Of course he has. I'm just saying from here that he's much more naturally talented. But Ronaldo has worked his ass off to get to where he's got. He has got every ounce out of his career. And as much as I don't like the guy, I respect the fuck out of him for that. Because he is a model to any footballer to look at with regards to how he's looked after himself, how he devotes himself to the game, the practice he puts in himself. And Frank Lampard is another player who would put in the category of just getting the absolute best out of the capabilities. I'm not putting Frank Lampard on the same level. Of course I'm not. He's below Steven Gerrard and a fair bit in my opinion. But he's just another example of one of these players I'm talking about that got everything out of himself. Literally got the best possible career he could have. No regrets for him looking back. Same with Cristiano Ronaldo. But again, Messi's just on a different planet as far as I'm concerned. Imran said, away Napoli team, Alisson, Trent, Virgil, Gomez, Robertson, Fabinho. Again, you're loving Fabinho, mate. Milner, Gini, Shaqiri, Salah and Sturridge. Tonic said, if you'd only 4 league losses this year, which ones could you accept? Chelsea at the Bridge was one for me, but not after we just lost. That's a tough question, mate. I mean, picking out 4 losses that would be acceptable to take, I'd probably rather lose. If I had to lose 4 games in the season, I'd probably rather lose to Southampton, Brighton, Brighton, I don't know, Newcastle and pick another team down the bottom of the table. I'd much rather lose to the shittier teams and beat the big teams than drop points to the bigger teams, just from a psychological perspective. Christopher said a draw against Napoli would be okay because we should have enough to get 6 points against Red Star Belgrade. That away game, don't underestimate how tricky that away game will be. Look, on paper we're a much stronger side than Red Star Belgrade. And excuse me, anybody watching from that neck of the woods, I cannot pronounce the real name, so I'm just going to stick with Red Star Belgrade. I know there's another name, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, so no disrespect was meant there for anybody watching from Belgrade or anything, but yeah, we'll go with Red Star if that's okay. Louis said, if Marco Alonso didn't score as many goals, he would basically be Alberto Moreno. Well, look, another player there, a Bolton player that ends up at Chelsea, and a league-winning Chelsea as well. I don't know what to say about Marcos Alonso. He's one of these players that has baffled me because he can be brilliant and he can look ridiculous, but fair play to him. That's all I can say. I've nothing but respect for Marcos Alonso for his career. He's gone to Chelsea and he really suits the way they play, so Just right player, right time, right manager, I suppose, as well. Right, there's a few more comments I want to get through. Where are we? God, I think I missed a shitload of comments there. Right, I'll try my best to get through these. I think my chat might have froze for a while, guys, because I'm after getting a load of comments just pop straight up. Imran's going for 2-0 tomorrow for the Reds against Chelsea. Harry Wilson, goal of the season so far, said Imran. It's up there, mate. It is, but so's that one today. It was a fucking belter. Jaden said, Craig, I think 4-3 tomorrow. Hazard 2, Jorginho 1, Salah 3 and Mane 1. Fucking hell, that would be some game, wouldn't it? 4-3 at the Bridge. I'd take that. No problem. As long as VVD is fit and firing tomorrow, said Squisms. I wouldn't hold your breath, mate, but you never know. You never know. It's all down to tomorrow morning. If he trains tomorrow morning, there's a chance he'll play. If he doesn't train, he ain't going to be playing. Jorginho and Kante got to push and hassle them. Don't give them time on the ball, said Paul. Never got to complain about a player with a pulled muscle. Need a wheelchair, said Stigblom. Well, did you injure yourself, mate? If you did, I hope you're feeling alright. Damo said, going out of the Carabao Cup will allow Klopp extra time to train the team through the season and avoid fatigue of the players. There's always some upsides to going out of the Carabao Cup. Look, we'd all like to win every competition we enter, but you know, there is some upsides to it. The downsides for me is that the younger players or the fringe players might not get as many minutes as we'd like them to, but I can understand Damo's point as well. There definitely is some upsides to it. Predictions for tomorrow's game. I'm going 2-1 to Liverpool, said Cameron. Do you know what, mate? I hadn't really thought about predictions for tomorrow's game. I probably should get my thinking cap on and come up with one. I'm going to go 3-1 to Liverpool tomorrow, Cameron. I wasn't too far off during the week. I predicted 2-2 and Liverpool to go through on penalties. So 3-1 to the Reds. Liverpool to go 2-0 up. Chelsea to pull one back. And then us to get the third. That's an absolute mad fucking prediction. But look, I'm staying with that one. 3-1 for me tomorrow. Lindsay said, if I were centre back, I would be getting red cards every time I play a game. I'm a dirty tackler, I admit it. There you go, Lindsay, at least you're honest. Damien said, I've enjoyed this season so much so far, buddy. I can't help having a sense of excitement. Do you think Salah will do well this year? I do, Damien, I honestly do. I don't think he'll hit the numbers he did last year, but I don't think that's a failure if he doesn't. For me, it's a collective, mate. It's whatever the team do. I'd love the forwards to all bag 30 goals each. But at the end of the day, we want the Premier League title. Like you, I'm buzzing for this season. I'm really excited about what's possible. And I think Salah will certainly smash 20 in the league this season. Whether he goes past that and hits really high numbers, it remains to be seen. But let's get him back to fitness first. Let's get his confidence back up. And then we'll see the player that we had last year. And we'll see some real fucking damage being done to defences up and down the Premier League. Pogba would be world class, but Klopp said Imran. He would, mate, until he throws his fucking toys out of the pram and then causes unrest in the dressing room and then results start to go down the fucking toilet. What else have we got? 3-2. Junior's going for it tomorrow. They're all cunts, to be honest, Craig. They all want money. Talking about agents. Oh, I swear to God. I must get my facts and figures out actually and do a stream for you guys on agents. Do some research. It's probably one if I was to do, to be fair. I'd probably have to not take comments on it. I'd probably pre-record it and then put it up because I'd probably have to cut a few things out of it because I'd end up saying stuff that would just be fucking libelous and just get me fucking pulled up in front of a judge somewhere. Imran said 100% respect. 100% agree. Love how they're making United a laughing stock, said Brian Morrissey. I've been saying this for a very long time, said Imran. Fuck 'em, said Stig. I like that some of you are actually agreeing with my agent's comments. Nice to see. I'd probably be amazed if you weren't. Brian said, new to the channel, sorry for asking so many questions. Brian, mate, don't ever apologise. We love questions on the channel. You guys take the time to write them. The least we can do is try and answer them, buddy. So, firstly, welcome to the channel. It's great to have you with us. Don't ever apologise, mate. You're welcome here. This is the place for Reds to feel comfortable, to talk about the club we all love in a safe and open environment. There's going to be language at times. It's going to get heated. But we're respectful in here, buddy, and it's great to have you with us. So thank you for subscribing. I hope you subscribed. All you said is you're new to the channel. I'm sure you have. But welcome. And don't ever apologise for asking questions. It's what we want you to do. This is your show. Raptor's in the house. Raptor, how the hell are you? I was telling the guys, Raptor, about our little conversation with the gentleman who wanted Klopp out and Steven Gerrard in. Raptor was the first one to comment on the new post by this gentleman today, and it's it was funny because at first Rap was trying to be sensible and point the gentleman in the right direction and perhaps right some wrongs from him. But then I think Rap understood that he was dealing with a fucking idiot and he was bouncing his head against the brick wall trying to get this fool to see sense, and Rap just pretty much ended up telling him he was a fool, and rightly so, because there's nothing else could be said. This dude was an absolute fucking Looney Tunes. Wanting Klopp out and Gerrard in after Gerrard has, what, 15, if even that, games with Rangers. It's just hilarious, the shit some people. And call themselves Liverpool fans as well. How could you want Jurgen Klopp out of our club, you fucking clown? Pogba cost 89 million, I thought, said Jaden. He did, but the 43 million I was talking about, mate, went into his agent's pocket, not into not for the money for Paul Pogba. I'm talking about going straight into that fucking Jabba the Hutt's pocket. These evil agents are destroying football and causing problems in the game, said Imran. Football nowadays is so squeaky clean and professional. We need a player like Souness who'd headbutt somebody and start throwing punches at the others around. A massive cunt isn't always bad. LFC _5, I'm with you. I've been screaming for a cunt in this Liverpool team for many, many years. I'm a massive fan of a lunatic. I love me a fucking nut job. So yeah, bring on the cunts, mate. I would love one in the team. I would love a hardy bastard in that midfield. A Graham Souness, angry fucking nut job. I'm all for it. I'm with you, mate. Sign me up. Best player in the world would be Salah, said Imran. Where's that one gone? There was one there about Pogba. Where's it gone? Bear with me, guys. Where's the one about Pogba? This new touchpad is a nightmare for me at times trying to get the comments through, guys. Don't tell me I've missed it. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Jay Kismet said, Pogba and Giroud are World Cup winners. Lord of mercy. To be fair to Pogba at the World Cup, I thought he was very good. Certainly had more influence on that World Cup than that fraud that is Antoine Griezmann. And I say fraud because people try and make this guy out to be up there with Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi as one of the best players in the world. He's fucking he's not even fit to polish their boots. I wouldn't even have him in the top 10 footballers in the world personally. But on your comment there about them winning a World Cup, Giroud is a little bit funny winning a World Cup, but I think Pogba, to be fair, I think he had a pretty good World Cup. I think Liverpool's intensity would unravel Chelsea. Liverpool 3, Chelsea 1 for Colin McCabe tomorrow. Louis said, I hope Van Dijk plays. I'll feel more confident going into the game if he does. Stephen Byrne said, Pogba 89 million versus Van Dijk, Robbo, Trent and Gomez for 86 million total. Boom, said Stephen. Yeah, can't argue with those numbers, mate. Jurgen Klopp has been a fucking genius with some of his transfers. And the funny thing about the players you're naming there, so you've got Van Dijk, Trent, Robbo and Gomez, but one player took up like fucking 85% or something of that transfer amount you were talking about. It's nuts. The other three just came in ridiculously cheap and free. Kevin Friend, he won the match for Chelsea on his own, for fuck's sake, says Martin G. Jaden said, Craig, I need to ask you one more question before I go. Who do you think is the best player for Liverpool? Yeah, it's a tough one to answer because there's a few ways you could look at it, mate. It depends what you like in football. Are you somebody who likes goals and would you go for Mo Salah? I was going to Mohamed Salah. Would you go for Mo Salah? Are you somebody who appreciates the art of defending and looks at Virgil van Dijk and just thinks, wow, the guy has transformed the team? There's a few ways of looking at it. For me, I kind of go a bit all round, so I like a little bit of everything. And I've said all along, my favourite player, and he's one that I'm going to stick with, that I think is one of the most important players to Liverpool, I'm going to go for Bobby Firmino. I love the guy, love everything about him, love what he brings to the team, love his work ethic, I love his little bit of madness, love his imagination. I love that he can be a little bit infuriating at times. Yeah, for me, it's Bobby Firmino, mate. But don't apologise about asking questions. Jay Kismet said, what's happened to the game where players like Pogba have destroyed a whole club season before it's even gotten underway? Oh, it's okay, it's Man United, don't worry about it. Imran said, I respect what he's saying, but Pogba wants to play for a club with Klopp's style of football. He'd be a different person, but we have Keita and Fabinho. Right, Imran, I get what you're saying there, buddy. But here's the thing for anybody trying to defend Paul Pogba in all of this. Paul Pogba signed for Manchester United when Jose Mourinho was manager. What the fuck did he expect? He knew the style of football that Jose Mourinho played. He knew what to expect when he came to Manchester United. All Paul Pogba was interested in was this. Money. That's why he wanted back to Manchester United. He was doing really well at Juventus. He was in a title-winning team. A team that were challenging in Europe. A team that had a manager that knew how to get the best out of him. He moved to Manchester United for money because his agent would have pointed him in that direction because we spoke about the amount of money that he was getting. There's a good relationship, of course, as well between his agent and the club. So he can't be surprised. You can't have any sympathy if you're a Paul Pogba fan and you're looking at this situation and feeling your player's being hard done by. Fuck him. He went to Manchester United for the wedge. He's getting his wedge. Got a nice little chunk of a transfer fee as well. It should be no surprise to him what is happening there under Mourinho. Mourinho wasn't going to suddenly reinvent his wheel and start playing attacking free-flowing football. That's not what Mourinho does. It's not what he did at Manchester United. It's not what he did at Real Madrid. To an extent, actually, he was a little bit more attacking in his first phase of Chelsea when he had the likes of Arjen Robben and Damien Duff. But now, he knew what he was going into at United. So fuck Pogba, fuck Mourinho, and absolutely fuck that slob of an agent that is Mino Raiola. Hate Alonso, he should be in a cell, said Kieran. I know what that comment is aimed at, mate, but even for me, I can't quite go that far on a stream and talk about that, but I know where you're coming from. Belgrade is a beautiful place, not sure about the football fans, said Megan Donkey. Rap said, I've just come on and I see 2 Mourinho mentions in the chat. What's the score with that then? Nothing much actually. He hasn't really got much of a mention, except for what I just spoke about there, mate. Yeah, nothing. Tonight hasn't had much Mourinho chat in here at all, to be fair. Welcome to the Red Star Tunnel of Love, said Damo. They've jazzed that tunnel up a little bit. I said this on last night's stream, or maybe it was the night before. For those of you who are seeing the video, the Voice Sports video of the tunnel of Red Star Belgrade going out into the stadium with the spray painted on the wall and the dingy dark look to the tunnel. The tunnel still exists, but UEFA have made them freshen it up, so they've painted the walls white. They put some flooring down. They've improved the lighting going through the tunnel. It's still going to be intimidating when you walk through it, but it's not quite as bad as it previously was. Corey Walsh said, who's injured? VVD looks like he could be injured, mate. Lallana is still out, and who was the other player that didn't quite make it? Lallana was out, VVD is out, and there was one more that wasn't quite fit. I can't remember, it's escaped me. Yeah, obviously Oxlade Chamber, but that's not the one I'm trying to think of. But VVD is the big injury concern for tomorrow, Corey. I think if Shaqiri goes to that game, they're going to want to kill him, said Louis. Yes, they will. From a crowd sense. I'm not saying they will touch him. I'm sure the crowd will be kept under control, but it will be a very hostile atmosphere for Shaqiri if he goes to that game. What else have we got? Let me just have a look actually at my little box of tricks, guys. I have a few other things I wanted to talk about. Yes, So a lot of the time on here, we have a bit of fun and we have a laugh and we talk about mad things and we talk about Liverpool and we're biased and all this, but occasionally it's time to talk a little bit seriously. And I read something today about Liverpool Football Club that I just wanted to mention, because it's only fair. We're Liverpool fans, we're here to talk about football, but we all know Liverpool Football Club is more than just a football team. It's active in the community, it's an employer in Liverpool, it does stuff for charities in Liverpool. There's so many things it does in and outside the football field. So I just wanted to have a little chat about something that I've seen today and I think the club needs to be commended for. So Liverpool Football Club has been presented an official accreditation by the Living Wage Foundation, further to announcing its commitment to pay the real living wage. The voluntary commitment sees directly employed staff, including casual workers over the age of 18, receive a minimum hourly wage of £8.75 in the UK or £10.20 in London, a rate significantly higher than the national minimum wage for over 25s, which is £7.83 per hour, introduced in April 2018. This is something that I'm Irish and I probably have no right to talk about. And I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this around the world who don't really care about this and just want to talk about Liverpool Football Club. But sometimes you have to give a football club or our football club a pat on the back. We're quick enough to criticise them at times, and I've been part of that. We've had issues with ticketing, we've had issues with entertainment and stuff, we've had issues with allocations. There's been so many other things that the club have had issues with and done wrong over the years. But every now and again they remind you that there is somebody in there thinking and there is some humanity going on in the football club. I myself have had experience of this recently. I explained the situation I had with my son and an order that we had, and we were treated really, really nicely by the club. But this, I just want to tell you what Peter Moore had to say in it. So the living wage, as we spoke about, in England, the minimum living wage is £7.83 for over 25s, and Liverpool are paying £8.75 and £10.20 to their staff in London, because as we all know, London is a very, very expensive place to live. So I just want to read some comments here from Peter Moore. He said, our approach has been to address those directly employed staff, including casual workers over the age of 18, immediately kickstarting a 3-year process to ensure all those who work for the club via third-party suppliers are paid a real living wage within 3 years if they're not already receiving it. Liverpool Football Club is very proud and committed to its status as a real living wage employer. As a club, we have paid the national minimum wage at the higher rate for many more years, and we believe that going further to pay the real living, we believe that going further than paying the real living wage and becoming a living wage employer is just the right thing to do, said Peter Moore. Excuse me for that last part, I read that incorrectly. I want to go through it again. As a club, we've paid the national minimum wage at the higher rate only for many years, and we believe that going forward we need to pay the real living wage, and becoming a real living wage employer is just the right thing to do. It's just that last sentence there that got me, guys. The right thing to do. It's not very often we speak of football clubs in such a context about doing the right thing. Yes, there's a shit ton of money in the game. We spoke just moments ago about the agents and the money that are taken out of the game. So I think it's only right that we take a moment to commend Peter Moore and Liverpool Football Club, FSG, everybody else involved, all the retail staff, all the management staff, for the decision to pay people a living fucking wage. Liverpool Football Club and Liverpool Football Club fans are a predominantly socialist group. So for Liverpool Football Club to feel that they need to pay their employees a wage that they can actually afford to fucking live on, which is, it sounds like a simple thing, but in this day and age of 0 hours contracts and people being fucked over by employers and agencies and stuff like that, it's good to see Liverpool Football Club willing to do that little bit extra. It might be a small enough gesture, but it means a lot to these people who are employed by the club. So well done to them, well done to Peter Moore, and let's get back to talk about some light-hearted stuff. But I just felt I had to say that because I do my reading every day before the stream. I try and find little bits for us to talk about. Obviously I look for football stuff, I look for the press conferences, I look at transfer gossip, all that stuff. But occasionally you come up with these little stories and you just have to tip your hat to the club and say well done. Right, so let's see how you guys are feeling. Junior's gone for 3-2 anyway. Louis said, agents are all cunts, to be honest, Craig. They all just want money. Might not be a lot of people who agree, but I really want to see Lovren play with VVD again. I still really love Gomez and think he's going to be world class, said Kieran. Especially Raheem Sterling's agent. Yeah, he was an absolute prat as well. Hello to all you decent fellows and fellowesses, said the Raptor. The Raptor in the house, as we spoke about earlier on. Friend is a biased prick with regards to Kevin Friend there from Liverbird 1. Red Star is one scary place to go. Paul's gone 2-0 to Liverpool tomorrow with another clean sheet for Alisson. Is Klopp playing mind games or is Virgil van Dijk really in doubt, said Cameron. I think he is really in doubt, mate. He didn't train today. James Pearce mentioned in his article that tomorrow is the last chance for him to train. If he doesn't train, that he probably won't be starting. Mane has been the most consistent performer since the semi-finals. Great player, said Colin. Pogba is a poison, said Brian. Thanks for answering, Craig, and I agree for sure. We'll definitely be subscribing. Great channel. Thank you, Damien, and welcome. Great to have you with us, buddy. Craig, I couldn't see where the competition was. Oh, yes. Let me get back to that one, Paul, as well. I'll come around to that in a minute, mate. Thank you for reminding me. Morning, everybody. How's it hanging? Rod, you're up already, buddy. Great to have you with us. 6:15 a.m. in the morning, and Rod is up in Australia already. Let's go, Reds. Let's smash these fucking Blues tomorrow. You have the best young lad detector on the stream, said somebody to Raptor. I think a lot of people from around the area would agree, but I can see why out-of-town people can't see it as a bad thing to say. What comment is that? Bear with me. Oh, right. Sorry, that was something about rap. David Mallock tweeted about Van Dijk. Right, so, as Paul mentioned a couple of seconds ago, Paul said I can't see the competition post. Right, I should explain this. Thank you for bringing it up, Paul. If you guys want to enter this week's competition to win any of the Liverpool retro shirts from Score Draw. We love our friends at Score Draw. We spoke about the working relationship we're going to have with the guys this season. This week's competition is going to be a little bit different. So what we've done is, it's a kind of a two-parter. At the moment, up on the Anfield Agenda Twitter account, and that's at Anfield Agenda for anybody who hasn't followed us, we've put up pictures of the 15 Liverpool shirts that Score Draw currently sell, the retro versions. We've made it easy for you guys, so we put the year on each shirt to let you know what year it's from. But what we want to know, we want you to go on there, have a look at the pinned tweet on the Anfield Agenda Twitter account, and let us know which shirt is your favourite. So we've listed the 15 of them there with images so you can find the one you like. The one that's winning at the moment, actually, by a long, long way, is the 1982 home shirt. That's the most popular answer we've had. So we've a post up there, and we just want you guys to simply reply by letting us know what your favourite shirt is. You might say, how does this play into a competition? Well, bear with me. What we're going to do then is we're going to let that one run over the course of the weekend. And then between Monday and Wednesday, we're going to run a vote. So we're going to pick the top 4 shirts, the top 4 most popular shirts that you guys have chosen, and put it to a Twitter poll and see which one's the favourite. And it'll be that section of the competition that we'll pick a winner from. So if you guys want to hang on, you don't want to enter yet, just wait for that vote to go up on Monday. There'll be 4 choices, whatever the 4 most popular jerseys were. And to enter, all you're going to have to do is retweet that competition post and make sure you're following Score Draw at Score Draw on Twitter. And if you guys want to go onto the Score Draw site, I know a couple of people have already, and a couple of people have said to me, fucking hell, honestly didn't think they were going to be that reasonably priced. They are. I've treated myself to another Score Draw shirt, actually. If you guys want to go on there, find something nice for yourself and want a bit of a discount, we're happy enough to be able to give you a 10% discount code at scoredraw.com. So the code to go on there for anyone who wants it is the number 3 SCORE, SCORE, and the number 10. So all uppercase, the number 3 SCORE and the number 10, and that'll get you 10% off absolutely anything on scoredraw.com. Any of the products on there, put in the code 3SCORE10, get yourself 10% off. And before people accuse us of doing this to make money, I've got to be honest and clear like I always am, We don't make a fucking penny from this. We're not in it to make money. The arrangement we have with the guys that Score a Draw is that they're kind enough to give us that code for our subscribers for a start. But we just want stuff to give away. And the guys that Score a Draw are happy enough to give us the occasional shirt to give away to our subscribers. We love them for that. And there's a shirt given away on Wednesday. So enter this competition on Monday. But we'd love to know your thoughts on your favourite shirt over the weekend. Check out the Anfield Agenda Twitter account. The competition post will be up on Monday. And we'll be giving away that shirt after the Napoli game on Wednesday. So another chance. Charlene won her first shirt. Another chance for one of our subscribers to win a brand new, it's weird saying the phrase brand new retro, but a brand new retro shirt from Score Draw. And there'll be more competitions coming up over the season as well, so keep them coming. We love giving free shit away. Let's smash the mega. I don't know what that means. Like the smash button, said Joseph. Duh. Great. Duh. Guys, if you're new to the stream, by the way, don't forget to subscribe. Or if you're just tuning in and you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And of course, anyone who's in the stream watching, don't forget to hit that like button. Gerard said, seriously, can we stop talking about Pogba now? Couldn't care less about United or Pogba unless we're playing them. Nothing wrong with that comment at all, Gerard, mate. We'll happily move on from that one. Cameron saying David Maddox said Virgil van Dijk will play at Chelsea through the pain barrier. Nice. That's fucking brilliant. That's great news, Cameron, mate. So cheers for sharing that one. You always feel that little bit more confident when Big Virg is in the team. Feel terrible this morning, said Rod. Were we having a drinky poo last night, Rod, or are we just genuinely not feeling too good? Have we anything else in my little bag of tricks to talk about on this stream before we head into get back to your comments? I'm sure I had one more thing. Oh yes, there was one more thing. Where's it gone? So it seems that our two fullbacks, Craig, wake up. It seems that our two fullbacks are having themselves a little bit of a competition this season, folks. You may have read this one already, but Robbo has claimed 3 assists so far this season, and Trent has only claimed 1, and that came from Joel Matip's headed goal against Southampton from the corner. But Robbo doesn't feel that he should get full points for that. So they're having a competition to see who gets the most assists this season. Robbo currently on 3 and Trent on 1. But Robbo ain't happy that Trent gets a full point for that one. So what Robbo was saying was, we're both hungry to contribute defensively first and foremost. We want to keep clean sheets. But going forward, we want to chip in with goals and assists. Last season we had a small competition. It started a bit later in the season. This season we decided to have a competition and see who comes out on top at the end. He's a fantastic player, so I'm sure it'll be tight. I'll keep up with him, and with his assists, then I'm sure we'll have had another good season. So right guys, who are you backing in this one? Andy Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold are having themselves a little bit of a competition to see who can get the most assists this season. Where's your money going? If you've got to back one of the guys, who are you backing? Trent or Andy? Or Trent or Robbo? Let us know. A little bit childish for us to have this game, but fuck it, we're fans, this is what it's about. Personally, I'm Team Robbo on this one. I think he'll get more assists. He's already 3-1 up, so maybe I'm cheating here a little bit saying Robbo already. Trent is fucking class, love Trent, but Robbo seems to be that tiny bit further ahead, I suppose, in his development, and maybe has the edge on him on this. Robbo, said Megan Onke. Christopher said, drop Robbo. That has to be a misprint. Has to be. There's no way you could be saying drop Robbo. Jared McCauley said, I back Robbo for assists and Trent for goals. Nice. Patbot's going Robbo. Lindsay Robbo. Paul Robbo. Christopher Defo Robbo. LFC _5 the Trent man. Lindsay said he's the Flying Scotsman. Robbo. Yeah, lots of love for Robbo on this one. Even though he's 3-1 ahead. Yeah, lots of people on Robbo. Going Trent Alexander-Arnold for a bit of fun, said Stig. Squism said Craig. Robbo's crosses can kill vampires. Both two immensely talented fullbacks, and we're blessed to have them both at the football club. And even more so to know that we've got a long run ahead of both of them. Trent only 19 years of age, for fuck's sake. That's scary stuff. We keep saying this. We keep saying he's only 19 years of age. How many of us were fucking drinking cans in a field or something at 19, or going to the pub with our mates or something, or trying to pull women? It's embarrassing how fucking good that young man is. Don't fuck around with a rib injury. It takes 3 weeks. Then just do it. Otherwise, he'll be in and out for the season. Brian's going Robbo all day long in the competition. Joseph said, good race, but I think Robbo. But if Trent sorts out them crosses, he can push him all the way. And Cameron is Team Robbo as well. It's a tough one. Yeah, it is a tough one. They're both two immensely talented dudes. But let's play another little game here, guys. We haven't really spoke about this one much on the stream. Who's going to be Liverpool's top scorer this season? I think it'll really come down to 3. So let's go with the front 3. But if anybody has another shout, feel free to put it in. Are you going to be Robbo? I'm not Robbo. I'm Robbo on the fucking brain after the last conversation. Are we going to go with Firmino, Mane or Salah? And we're going all competitions, just to be clear. So who is Liverpool's leading goal scorer going to be this season? Let me know in the chat. I am going for Sadio Mane. I think he will score the most goals for Liverpool this season. I think getting the number 10 shirt has given him that little lift, that little boost of confidence that he may have been lacking at times last season. Not that you would ever accuse Sadio Mane of lacking confidence, because you can see he's a confident dude. But I just think getting that number 10 shirt, just have given him a lift. I don't know. It could be a silly thing for me to be saying, but I said it in the summer when I seen him in the shirt. I just feel he seems that little few inches taller. His chest seems that little bit bigger. He just seems like a bit more of an aura around him now. So I'm going Sadio Mane this season for the top scorer. Let me go into the chat and see how everyone else is feeling. Once Salah kicks in, he'll pull away, said Squisms. Colin McCabe is saying Mane by 7. Bobby for Christopher. Well, I'd love that to happen. I've spoken openly how much of a Bobby Firmino fan I am. Mane for Vinnie Johnson. LFC_5 is going for Bobby Firmino. Sadio for Raptor as well. I'd like it to be Mo, but he's gone for Sadio. Firmino for Stephen Dwyer. Martin G said Salah will click soon, mark my words. Salah for James Shields as well. Joseph's gone full on Mo. Paul said Mane will get past 30 Premier League goals, and when Millie's not on the field, Mane will be taking penalties. Rod reckons it's too early to speculate. That's the whole point though, buddy. That's the fun part. I mean, if we were doing this when somebody had pulled away a bit, it would be too easy. So now is the time to speculate, I think, in my humble opinion. Tomorrow, guys, let's bring it back to the game at Stamford Bridge, because that's what it's all about. Does anybody worried going into this game? Does anybody feel that the result during the week perhaps will have an effect on how Liverpool approach this game tomorrow, or will they feel a little bit more pressure to not lose 2 games in a week to Chelsea? Personally, I don't think it'll have much of an influence on the game. It might improve Chelsea 5%, perhaps. It might make their fans a bit more confident going into the game. But at the end of the day, I fully believe that our best 11 players against Chelsea's best 11 players, we should be coming out on top. I'm not really one for this whole home and away thing sometimes. When it's Anfield in the European night, it's a different fucking ball game. But generally in the league, I'm not really one for home and away. I feel a football field is a football field. You go out and do your thing, you should be able to prove your dominance. The opposition might get a lift from their fans, but if you're the better team, you should be coming out on top. I think Liverpool are better than Chelsea. I'm not disrespecting Chelsea, because I think Chelsea are a very, very good footballing team. They've improved their midfield this season. I think they're going to struggle for goals as the season goes on. But all in all, I think Liverpool are a better, stronger, more well-rounded side. So I think we can go there tomorrow and get the 3 points. I predicted a 3-1 win, but at the same time, I wouldn't be losing my mind if we left out with a draw. Because I think when the points are tallied at the end of the season, a draw wouldn't be the worst result for Liverpool. Megan Onke said, if we play to our potential, then it's no contest. Liverpool will smash them. Rod said, no worries, lure them out and then burn down the bridge. No worries for the Raptor either. Tom Boland says, Markovic gets a start in January and he goes like a raped ape, said Tom. A raped ape. I don't know if I've ever heard that phrase before. Nor do I know what a raped ape looks like or acts like. That's probably going to be stuck in my head now for the night, Tom. Damo said it was really reinforced how amazing Trent is when Klein, a former England right back, played against Chelsea. Hard to believe Trent is only 19 too. Do you remember the conversation that we had And it wasn't just us. This was had up and down Liverpool Twitter, Liverpool Facebook, Liverpool YouTube about who would be our starting right back next season. And this was halfway through last season. People were talking about it being too soon for Trent, and that Nathaniel Clyne is one of England's best right backs, established right back. He knows how to play in Europe. He's played at the highest level. And a lot of people, and I was one of the people that backed Trent actually, because I could see the potential there, just kept saying, no, once Trent gets in, he's not losing that shirt. It's amazing to see how far ahead Trent has gone in that space of 6 to 9 months. I don't think there's any Liverpool fans that I'm aware of now that would want to see Nathaniel Clyne starting ahead of Trent Alexander-Arnold. And it's tough to say that because I think most of us think that Nathaniel Clyne is an excellent fullback. In fact, if we were to have cover on the left for Andy Robertson, I'd probably prefer to see Nathaniel Clyne go in there than almost anybody else. But there's something about Trent, isn't there? There's just a bit of fairy dust or something. There's just a bit of magic about the young man. He seems like he's meant to be here at this moment in time, and he's meant to do great things in his career, and he's meant to do them at Liverpool Football Club. We're spoiled, I suppose, to have Trent and Nathaniel Clyne. I feel for Clyne a little bit as well, because he must scratch his head at times and go, I haven't really done much wrong and I'm ousted here. He had his injury, we know about that. He was out for quite a long time with that. But my God, has Trent Alexander-Arnold taken that chance with both arms. He's not only wrestled the shirt away from Clyne, he's literally taken it away from him and fucking sewn it to himself and said, you ain't getting this back, mate. He is outstanding. Yeah, it's a tough situation because nobody thinks Clyne is shit, but very few people think that he can hold a candle to Trent already, and Trent is only 19 years of age. There's not many young men in football you can say that about. Where else have we got? Let me just go back to the chat here and scroll back through and see how everyone is feeling on this topic. Salah for top scorer for James. Martin said Salah will click again. 32 likes, 74 watching, said Vinnie Johnson. 32 likes is pathetic, guys. Come on. There's 74 of you watching. It takes 2 seconds to hit that like button. We should be up to 74. Come on, guys. It only takes a sec. If we play to our potential, it's no contest. Liverpool will smash Chelsea, said Megan Onke. Joseph said, we don't have a great thumbs up record, but they're a different animal this year, no doubt. Evening Craig and evening Red, said Paul Turner. How are you, Paul? Great to have you with us, mate. Paul Connell said, no, I think it'll give our team a lift to have a bit of revenge from Wednesday when we had Moreno on the field. Joseph said, yeah, heard of a great thumb ape. I don't know what the fuck that thumb rape. I don't know what you're trying to say there, but you've lost me. Brian Morrissey said, I reckon we'll have a plan to stop Jorginho. A fast start before half time. We'll win if we stop him playing. Exactly. If we can stop him dictating the play and cut off the amount of possession he gets and the amount of passes that he can put through, then yeah, we need to get up on his face. You're right. I think he is, we spoke about this earlier on the stream, he's the fulcrum for Chelsea. I mean, he broke a record last week, I think, for the most passes in the game. Something like 800 passes, which is fucking ridiculous. Some football teams don't do that in 2 games, and he had it in 1 himself. So yeah, I fully think that we need to dominate midfield tomorrow. We need to press them high up. We need to force them into mistakes. And I wouldn't mind an early goal. I wouldn't mind 2 early goals, actually. LFC grew past Nathaniel Clyne, said Stig. Kieran Aaron said the drugs took a toll of Clyne. Allegedly. Have to use the word allegedly. And I must say, I'm only reading out comments here. I have not in any way insinuated that Nathaniel Clyne was involved in nor took any drugs. Regardless of the result midweek, we had better chances and more chances to win. Chelsea glory will be blown away come Saturday evening when the real Liverpool rock up to Stamford Bridge, said James. Gary said, we must beat Chelsea. And Lindsay said, Craig, I don't think the other comment sent, but my name ain't Lindsay. I know why my account was randomly named this. It won't let me change the name. My name is really Ben, sorry. You should be able to change your name on the account, Ben. I will remember that now, Ben, so thank you. Somebody point Ben in the direction of how we can change the name on that account. Has to be straightforward. But thank you, Ben, for letting me know. It must have been really fucking annoying, mate, if your name's Ben and I'm calling you Lindsay. Raptor said, Klein is a better defender, but Trent Alexander-Arnold's game is more varied. And Stig, or not Stig, yeah, Stig, it is Stig, is saying, hit that like button, guys. Hit it. Tom said, Trent has the skill, but by all reports, his mother is the boss and she keeps him focused. Well, that lady has done a spectacular job raising one hell of a well-rounded young man. Apart from being a tremendously talented footballer, he seems like a really good dude. Does a lot in his community as well, so she's done a smashing job with Trent. I couldn't help feeling Chelsea got a bit lucky during the week, said Rod. Klopp looked very relaxed at the press conference. I just think Klopp knows as well, Rod. I think he gets the feeling that there's something happening this season for Liverpool. There's something here, there's something special. He's built something. This is his third season, so it's taken time, which we knew it would, to be fair. Most sensible Liverpool fans weren't expecting him to fucking create his Borussia Dortmund legacy overnight. We knew it was going to take 2 or 3 years, but it looks like things are going our way now, and it looks like he's happy with the squad that he has. We can certainly say it's his squad now. He's happy with the way we're playing. He's made the tweaks in our system from last season. We're probably not as gung-ho as we were at times last year. We're probably a little bit more reserved, but all in all, everyone feels full of confidence. The whole club is just bouncing, and the result during the week against Chelsea, whilst a little bit of a setback, hasn't really derailed most people's confidence. Most of us knew that it wasn't our strongest 11. Again, I want to give full credit to Chelsea and Eden Hazard. A spectacular goal, worthy of winning any game of football. There's no bitterness from that side whatsoever. But it'll be a completely different game of football tomorrow. Klopp didn't give 2 fucks, said Joseph. LFC_5 said, Klein is so good that Hazard couldn't get past him and had to move to the other side of the pitch to score. Chelsea had a lot of room in midfield in the week. That won't happen tomorrow for sure, said the Raptor. Particularly in that first half. It was ridiculous the amount of space we were giving Fabregas. Now, I know he dropped quite deep. He was playing kind of almost splitting the centre backs at times. He was coming that deep, but it was ridiculous how much time he got to ping passes around. Christopher said 800 passes that counted, for fuck's sake. And they didn't win the game. That's the really nuts part, Christopher. You're right. They drew at West Ham. 800 or so passes and they fucking drew. I mentioned this actually, for those of you that joined me for the live stream of the game during the week. I mentioned that at times it felt like Chelsea were just keeping possession for possession's sake. They weren't doing anything with it. A lot of the time in the first half, they had possession, but it was all inside their own half. And they were just passing left to right, back to the goalkeeper, back to Fabregas. Fabregas played it out wide right. It would go back to the midfield, back to the defence, back to the keeper. They weren't doing anything with possession. So sometimes these stats are completely false. You've seen games before where teams have had 70-75% possession and lost. So we may go to Stamford Bridge and see less of the ball than normal, but we have to be precise and we have to be clinical when we get our chances. And that's something that we haven't been so far this season. So fingers crossed it all clicks tomorrow when we go to the Bridge and that the real Liverpool show up. We can leave there. We could definitely leave there with 3 points. Where else are we? How will Eden Hazard cope with Robbo? I bet he hasn't slept, said James. Klein always seems to stop and turn back on the wing so he doesn't cross the ball so much. That's something, Megan Unke, I spoke about, and not from Nathaniel Klein, from Liverpool in general. I think that's a tactic this season of ours. Sometimes we see Robbo tearing down the left, that definitely happens, but particularly with Trent Alexander-Arnold, I find a lot of the time when he hugs the touchline and the ball's played out to him wide right, if there's space, then yes, he does run into it, but if there's a man close to him, he doesn't try and take that man on a lot of the time. He cuts back inside and plays the ball in. And I'm wondering if that's because Klopp doesn't want to just turn over possession in that area of the field. And we're in a forward... How am I trying to describe it? Our players are on a counter-attack moving forward. If Trent has the ball out on the right-hand side and he turns over possession, then we're wrong-footed. Chelsea or whoever it might be have an easy chance of getting in behind us, and half of our team are up front expecting us to start a counter-attack. So the safe play there would be for him to cut back onto his left foot and keep possession. It might slow down the attack, but percentage-wise it's probably the safer thing to do. So sometimes with Trent, I've noticed that this season. And Robbo does it as well, but not to the same extent. He seems to go on more overlaps than Trent does. But again, it's a good observation from somebody there in the chat. Who was it that pointed that one out? Meganonki was about Klein. But it is something I think Jurgen Klopp has said to his fullbacks this season. No proof that he said it, just a hint. Craig will have a full team tomorrow, so an easy 3 points, said Morgan. It won't let me. I've tried lots, said Ben, with regards to changing his name. Colm said, if Morata starts, we'll need to clatter him early to keep him quiet. Same for Giroud. It all depends. If Morata starts, it all depends. It depends if he has that couldn't score in a brothel switch turned on. He had it on Wednesday, so you knew he wasn't scoring. But if he hasn't got it turned on tomorrow, then he might actually be able to put one in the back of the net at some point if it falls to him. He's been on a shocking run of form, hasn't he? He really hasn't been great at all. Bobby should be in Jorginho's face. 2 Brazilian players that will have a big say in the result tomorrow, said Paul. Squism said, Chelsea barely scored 2 on our 2016 backline and keeper will smash them. 3-1 win tomorrow. Stig said, just let him be. Can't hit a barn door, Colm. Exactly. He's shite. Morata's been shite this season. And I say that from somebody I spoke about before who had a very high regard for Morata before he came to Chelsea, particularly during the time at Juventus. Don't know what has happened to him at Chelsea. Klein was a shadow of himself on Wednesday, said Morgan. And Joseph said, don't even think he was a Roger signing. Wasn't there a fucking transfer committee or some shit like that? Hazard will be hard to pocket, although Sané was easy to mark. Trent will need to know more about Eden, said Ben. Look, if Hazard shows up, he can be unplayable. We know that. We have to be honest about it. And he is in form. Eden Hazard is in form. I feel he's proven, or he's playing to prove a point to Real Madrid. I think he wants to move to Real Madrid, and that's why Chelsea fans are going to see the best of him this season. He wants that fucking move. I think he's so selfish. I don't think it's anything to do with wanting Chelsea to succeed. I've spoken about this before. You cannot love a player like Eden Hazard who has not shown up to get 2 managers sacked and gone in entire seasons, or at least half a season, not bothering his arse because he's sulking. But if Eden Hazard turns up, like we've seen during the week, he can be unstoppable. He can be unplayable at times. As can our front 3, to be fair. I'm sure he meant to say going to Chelsea is not like going to a kid's birthday party, said Rod. I'm not sure what that comment was about. Right guys, we're heading towards the last 15 minutes of tonight's stream, so has anybody got any topics they want to have a chat about for the last 15? Joseph said, was he at the Rent Boys, I think? Damo said, I hope Andy Robbo is picturing Eden Hazard whilst watching a repeating video of Flanagan kicking Raheem Sterling into the air. Don't forget Flano having a boot of Soldado as well. He also put Soldado into the fucking main stand at one point. Or was it the Centenary, which is now the King Kenny, of course. Morgan said, Alonso is a danger as well for overlaps and he can get a goal as well. He certainly does know where the goal is. That's one thing you can say about Alonso. He would go in January if he was given a chance, said Paul, with regard to Eden Hazard. Yes, he fucking would, mate. You heard him in the summer. He wanted to go to Real Madrid this summer, but he just couldn't get the money to buy him, or Chelsea just refused to sell. He was clear. He said, I can't remember his exact comments in the summer, but he made it pretty fucking clear he wanted to get out of there. Garrett said Liverpool should mark Hazard tomorrow. Hey, your thumbnail is like a derpy knockoff Matt Santoro. No idea what any of that means, mate. Haven't got a fucking clue who that person is, or if you're slagging me, or what you're saying there, but If you think our thumbnail's a rip-off of something, fair enough. That's your opinion, buddy, and you're fully entitled to it. I haven't got a fucking clue what you're talking about, but you're fully entitled to your opinion. Keane said, how are we, Reds? Hope we've all had a great day. What were you calling Chelsea during Wednesday's game? Asks Ben. Oh, the Harlem Globetrotters. That's what I was calling them through the entire game, because they were just doing what they wanted, handling the ball in the box. Fabregas was dribbling the ball as much as he wanted with his hands, for fuck's sake. They were getting away with murder, so I was calling them the Harlem Globetrotters. Rod said, sorry guys, I'm feeling unwell. Quick detour. We don't want to know about your toilet habits. I'm not going to call them out, for fuck's sake. Martin said, I go nuts at the TV when we lose the ball in the middle of the park. Up off the sofa, squealing like a lunatic. Can't help it. You can't change your spots. Martin, I'm the same, mate. I think most of us men watching football, and probably women, I don't know, I haven't watched football around a good few women. But yeah, most of us men, or the men that I know, do treat like that. My wife thinks I'm a fucking lunatic when I watch a game of football. She just keeps saying to me, you know they can't hear you. You're screaming at the referee, you're screaming at the players, you know they can't hear you. Why do you do it? I don't know, is the answer. How do you explain that to somebody? It's just a heat of the moment thing. You jump up off the chair, the referee's a cunt, the other player's a cheating cunt, the linesman's blind, your player was absolutely fucking hatcheted down with a fucking scythe, and the world is against you. This is what happens sometimes when you're watching football. But then there's the other end of the scale where everything has gone great and you're doing fucking rolls around your sitting room and thinking to yourself, could I get away with a handstand, or can I do a cartwheel still? All this type of stuff. And Liverpool score, tops off, waving around the sitting room, fucking dog is getting hugged, the daughter's getting extra pocket money, all that stuff as well. There's both sides of it, isn't there? There's mad reactions when things go. I remember when we signed Virgil van Dijk, I did the Periscope straight away, and I was nearly in tears. I was that happy doing that Periscope. So yeah, being a football fan, there are crazy extremes, but it's part of the joy of being a fan, isn't it? Squism said, thanks for a great chat. See you for the match tomorrow. Up the Reds. I should probably mention, actually, before a lot of people head off, that I will be doing a watch along, as always, of the Liverpool-Chelsea game tomorrow. So join us from about 5:10 tomorrow for that one, on this channel, of course. For those of you who haven't been with us for a watch along or know what it is, the best way of describing it to you is we all watch the game together. We don't show it on the channel, of course. You guys watch it wherever you are. You have your own streams or channel, whatever. I give you a bit of alternative commentary, but we have a chat in real time about what's going on. We share our thoughts on the major incidents. We have a little chat at half time. We have a post-match chat as well. It goes on for about 40 minutes or so after the game. It's just a different way of watching the game. You get to share your thoughts and opinions with other Reds in real time. So if you haven't experienced it before, maybe come and give it a try. If you're a regular, great. I hope to see you tomorrow. But we'll be on air about 5:10 for that one, so keep an eye out. And of course, if you have subscribed to the channel, don't forget to turn on the notifications. Go to that little gear wheel and click on that and turn on notifications, because that will give you an alert every time we go live on here. Sometimes you can predict when we're going to come on. Sometimes we come on 10 o'clock every night like tonight. But if there's breaking news or something that happens quickly that we need to get on and talk about, then if you have that notification turned on, you'll get an alert and you'll be able to come on and hopefully get the news quickly. Right, what else have we got to finish up? Excuse me, guys. Why don't we slag off United for the last 15 minutes? Oh, it'd be too easy, Gareth. I feel we've given them enough time on this stream anyway. When Suarez left us, I spent 15 minutes tearing his name off my Liverpool jersey. Football is a way of life. It's great to see so much passion for different people around the world, said Keane. I've never really felt that upset about a player leaving. I really am somebody who just loves the club more than anything else. Of course I've had my favourites. I mean, Robbie Fowler is my favourite Liverpool player ever. Like you, I was a massive Suarez fan, Keane, so when he left I was, a little bit down, of course. Torres was a tough one to take. But overall, you know that the club's going to bounce back. If there's one thing that Liverpool Football Club does, it makes superstars. It brings in players and lifts them up to a whole new level. And we have new heroes. And that's something that, it's a beautiful thing of cycles that happens in football clubs. Your hero leaves, you think the world's going to come to an end. But then along comes a Mo Salah, along comes a Trent Alexander-Arnold, along comes a Bobby Firmino, a Sadio Mane, a Virgil van Dijk, and all is good again with the world. And you wondered why you were so silly to think that things were going to fall apart when so-and-so left. It's one of the beautiful things, again, about being a football fan and loving the club more than anything else. Because you know the club is always going to be there. And the club will keep moving on. Even through the tough times, we always have moments. There's always those beautiful moments that makes you realise why you love the sport, why you love the club, why you're a Liverpool fan especially. That's something that I don't think we talk about enough. We are different. We're all football fans first and foremost, but there are subtle differences between every fan base. But I think Liverpool, it's just a different breed. I've said it before. I don't know what it is that makes you feel like you belong when you're a Liverpool fan. Whether you're from Ireland, the UK, Liverpool itself, Asia, America, Canada, Australia, wherever it is. It's a way of life. It's a feeling. It's a sense of belonging. It's unity. It's deep. It runs deep. It cuts right through you being a Liverpool fan. I'm probably not describing this as eloquently as I could. I'm having my best shot at it, but I'm not the most eloquent human being. That's why I curse a lot, by the way. But there's something about being a Red and taking the knocks or taking your licks, as people like to say, and coming back. And as bad as it has been for us under Roy Hodgson, and as shitty as it's been, and as bad as the European campaigns were under Brendan Rodgers, I wouldn't change any of that, because all of that led us to where we are now, and all of that led us to Jurgen Norbert Klopp taking over the football club and slowly but surely turning things around and giving us a season last year that it was unforgettable. We didn't get the end we wanted in the Champions League, but it was beautiful. The memories of that European Cup run will live with me for a lifetime. And losing in that final to Real Madrid, it didn't feel like the end of something. When you lose European finals, and we've experienced a few of them. We had Athens as well in 2007. We lost to Sevilla in the Europa League. When you lose those European finals, usually it hurts. It really fucking hurts. And you think it's a major opportunity missed, but as tough as it was to take the loss last season in the Champions League final against Real Madrid, particularly in the circumstances, you knew it was the start of something. It was nice. You lost the game, you're upset, you felt bad, you may have been angry at Karius, you may have just been angry at the situation, you may have called Ramos a fucker, whatever it was, but you knew it was the start of something. You knew that when the summer came, the World Cup was over, we were all itching and looking forward to the team getting back this season and to see what we could do, who we'd bring in over the summer. We weren't disappointed with the window. We got in exactly who I think we needed. We can talk about Fekir, that's another conversation, but 6 wins out of 6 in the Premier League so far. 18 points. The best start to a league campaign we've had in, fucking 28, 30 years, something along those lines. It's a great time to be a Red, guys. Enjoy it. Don't worry about things anymore. The dark days are behind us. Just strap in. Enjoy the ride, because Klopp is going to bring something special to this football club. Apologies, this was not a rant, I suppose, in a way. This was just me opening up and being a little bit more calm and just sharing some of my feelings about the football club with you guys. And I'm a weird dude, as you guys know at times. I can go off on little tangents when I'm doing streams. I can go off topic quite a lot. I know that, but bear with me sometimes. But what I'm trying to say here, guys, is we're a different breed. Enjoy it. We've got the best manager in the business, the best fans in the business. And we're going to kick some fucking ass this year. Right, what else have we got? We need to get our front three back, how they were at the end of last season. We're better placed to start doing it than Stamford Bridge, said Stig. Have any of you guys seen the video where the sea lion smacked somebody in the face with an octopus? That is probably the weirdest sentence I've ever read out on here, Ben. Has any of you guys seen the video where a sea lion smacked somebody in the face with an octopus? That definitely goes down as the weirdest comment I've ever read. And I've read some fucking strange things on here. Lots of people heading off for the night as well. Good night to you guys. Great to have you with us again. Is it new info will take some time getting used to? Said Ben. Right guys, has anyone got a topic anyway for the last few minutes that we can have a chat about, or we just call it a night? I'm happy to do either way. Right, is there anything else I've missed in the chat? Because I know I skipped through a few comments earlier on. January transfer targets, said Thomas Boland. That's something we can definitely talk about. I suppose it seems as good a point as any, actually, because somebody mentioned it yesterday. When Tipperary and Ireland lose, I move on and say fuck it. When Liverpool lose, I'm angry and it's impossible for a few days. Tom, my weekend sometimes can completely change depending on the course of a Liverpool result, mate. And that affects, of course, the family as well. If Liverpool win, the daughter's getting extra pocket money. Takeaways are bought with the family. We may even go out on the Sunday and do something. If Liverpool lose, I just don't want to leave the fucking sofa. Hit that like button, Red, said Joseph. Please do, guys. As I said, please do hit that like button before you head off. Morgan said, I'm going to call it a night, Craig, but thanks for having me. And Keane said, I agree with the January targets as the last 15. Cool. Let's have a go at that one then. The obvious one to have a chat about is Nabil Fekir. A lot of people want him to come in, of course. It's early to talk about January, but I think we need reinforcements up front, and whether that is Nabil Fekir or somebody else, I don't know. I said long term I believe Christian Pulisic will probably be a target for Liverpool. He's had a good start to the season at Borussia Dortmund this year. I don't think they're going to want to let him go during the season. I'd say they'd want him to see out the rest of the year. Probably be good for his progression as well. His value will be tough next summer because he's got 1 year left on his contract at the end of this year. I think he's the perfect addition to the Liverpool team. Some people think he's not up to it yet. Some people think he may be too much of a gamble. I think he's perfect. He's somebody I'd love to see us target. I can understand people wanting to go back in for Fekir. You've seen the goal he scored against Manchester City for Lyon. He's been in decent form since he's come back as well. But there's a few more players. People talk about centre-backs that they want to bring in. Cover for Alberto Moreno when he's... Or, well, not cover for Moreno. Cover for Robbo. And not for it not to be Alberto Moreno was another position people want us to improve. If Mignolet is going to move on as well, then we have to have a chat about the backup goalkeeper going forward. Whether that needs to be addressed or not in January, I don't know. Let me go into the chat though and see how you guys are all feeling. Joseph said, I'm the same with Liverpool lose. Don't talk to me for at least 2 or 3 days. I'm not fun to be around. Megan Nonke said Marco Royce in January. The thing about him, mate, is I don't think any of us can doubt his talent. He's fucking brilliant. But am I right in saying he's another player with a really sketchy injury record? This could be just complete misperception on my behalf, but I feel like every time I look at him, he's injured at some point in the season for a decent length of time as well. I don't think he's just out for a week or two. He seems to miss big chunks of seasons. Keane said, consider me weird, but I'd get a new left back and a new centre back as rotation for Robbo and VVD. Ajax have a young centre back. De Ligt, is that the guy you're talking about, Keane? If you're talking about De Ligt from Ajax, he's fucking class. I don't think any of us would say no to him coming into Liverpool. Left back, I totally agree. And suggestions wise, nah, mate, I wouldn't mind us going back in for the youngster at Leicester, Ben Chilwell, that we looked at before. Is he up to the level that we need, or would it be fair actually to keep Ben Chilwell as a backup? I don't know. We probably want to progress and get more game time. I heard Klopp asked about Mario Götze. Interesting, said Joseph. I did hear him being asked about Götze during the week, and he said something along the lines of, if we did want Mario, it wouldn't be a long protracted negotiation. I just pick up the phone and call him. I think it was something along those lines, Klopp said, because they're still quite friendly. Lindsay said, Götze next year. I know it's January, but some Dortmund players have told him to reunite with Klopp. Damo said, cover for Andy Robbo. Moreno's not good enough, but it'll be hard to get a really good player who'd settle for sitting on the bench. Christopher said, problem with a backup keeper What top keeper is going to just come here to sit on the bench or just play the odd game? You're right, Christopher. Any keeper worth a salt would want to play. Of course they would. But we see it at other clubs. Some clubs do have a quite decent second keeper. I wouldn't mind seeing Caoimhín Kelleher get promoted to the spot. I think he's got a great future, and of course a lot of people wouldn't mind seeing Grabara as well. So for me, I would even question if we need to go and spend the money. What's the point in having these young keepers at the club if you're never going to trust them? And even if that's as a backup, why not? That's the one, said Keane, with regards to Delay. Yeah, he's quality. Dave has been screaming. Our very own Dave has been screaming for him for months now, and many, many months. As soon as actually, from the very start of time Dave started doing podcasts and stuff with us, he's been screaming for Delay. Ryan Bertrand, another Southampton player, said Paul. Hello, Saints. Yeah, no, it's us again. Who? Liverpool? Sorry, no speaker English. No speaker English. You got the wrong number. They don't want to deal with us again. Fucking hell. Ryan Bertrand would probably end up costing us about £117 million if we were to go back to Southampton. Stephen Richard said, wouldn't bring in anybody in January. It might upset the apple cart unless SpongeBob does one. And if anyone doesn't know what that means, it means unless Mignolet heads off, because we often call him SpongeBob Squarehead. Joseph said, we bought a left back off Ajax, but he's only 17. Is that guy Hoover? Is that the young guy's name? I remember we signed some young guy called Hoover from Ajax recently. You know, you can make them jokes up yourself to do with the name. Thomas Boland says, weird call, but Andros Townsend and Zaha. Zaha is quality. I would be more than happy to have Zaha at Liverpool Football Club, I have to say, and I think Klopp would bring him to a whole new level. Andros Townsend, that really is out of left field, mate. My opinion on him would be no, he's not good enough, but I mean, Zaha I'd definitely take. Aaron Ramsey, that's one that's going to be mentioned quite a lot actually, Meganonki. I see a lot of Arsenal fans today moaning about Aaron Ramsey and saying fuck him, if he does want to play for the club, move him on. But you've got to look at this from Aaron Ramsey's point of view. Aaron Ramsey put up better numbers than Mesut Ozil over the past couple of seasons, but he sees Mesut Ozil being rewarded with a £350,000 a week contract. Now if you're Aaron Ramsey and you're being offered roughly 1/3 of the money that Mesut Ozil, a player who you've outperformed over the past couple of seasons, you're right to say fuck you, I don't want that, I want Mesut Ozil money. You cannot just do that in your club. Like, this is the problem with giving in and paying some players superstar money to keep them at the club. You're going to have players that want parity, and Aaron Ramsey may look at the situation and go, fuck you, I want Ozil money. If you don't give me Ozil money, I'm leaving. And I think he's perfectly within his rights to do that, because Arsenal have set a precedent of what they're willing to play players that do roughly the same numbers as him. And Mesut Ozil, there's no other justification for giving him that type of money other than they didn't want to lose him and Sanchez at the same time. Look, I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I'm sure Arsenal fans would have much stronger or more well-rounded opinions on this than me. But from my side, looking at this as an outsider, and I see Aaron Ramsey, I fully agree with him. I mean, fuck you if you're paying Mesut Ozil 350 grand a week. I want Mesut Ozil money. That's exactly what I'd be saying. Craig, I don't understand why Arsenal bought Leno and then they're still playing Czech. They might be buying him for the long game, to be fair. Good night, Raptor, by the way. Lindsay, or Ben, sorry Ben, I nearly said Lindsay again. I screamed at Karius during the final and my mate went, bloody hell, he's in Kiev, he won't hear you there. It's passion and love to call the ref a cunt, said Morgan. You got to, it just comes natural, doesn't it? Squism said, thanks for a great chat, lad. See you for the match tomorrow. Up the Reds. Megan Onke has a topic, Hardman in football past and present. We can definitely have a chat about that one on the next show, buddy. So if you remind me for the next live stream, we'll definitely have a chat about that, because that's a great topic. Thomas Boland says, I'll be walking around the room pointing at the space in the TV and screaming, give it out, pass, pass. Yeah, I get that. I'm the very same as that as well. At the PSG game, I was a different me, said Stig. Morgan said, Craig, it's my nanny's 1 year anniversary tomorrow from when she died, and I'll be in Dublin, so I'll watch the live stream. Well, firstly, mate, thoughts to you and your family tomorrow. That's not going to be an easy day for you all. Yeah, I know there's usually an anniversary mass on somebody's first year, so thoughts with you and the family tomorrow, Morgan, mate, and great to have you with us with the stream, but hope the day goes well, or as well as can be for you all tomorrow, mate. Alternative commentary, that's spot on. It's fucking mad, passionate Irishman at his best, said Paul. Yeah, I like to say alternative commentary, but you're right. It's pretty much a fucking mad, passionate Irishman losing his mind watching the games. It's the last of the tribal community, said Stig. Love this. It's a religion, said Paul. Nice. Defo is. It's a calling, if that's not too cheesy a thing to say. I felt the same when Keegan left, and along came King Kenny. We know what you mean, Craig. There's just something different about the club, and the other teams know it as well, said Joseph. Liverpool need to get the league monkey off their back and a new era will start. Absolutely no doubt, said Martin G. Mate, I hear you. I am so with you on that one. I think once we get that monkey off our back, we could go through a good sustained period of success. It has to happen sooner or later. We have to fucking win this league. Ben said, have any of you guys seen... No, we've already talked about that one. About the the sea lion and the octopus. That's definitely one of the comments of the night. What about the Mane contract situation, said PC Benjamin. That's definitely something that's gone quiet. I don't know what to say, Benjamin, mate. That's probably something that slipped my mind a lot over the past few weeks. I'd hope it gets sorted out. Sometimes if people can't agree on these contract things, they agree to shelve it for a few weeks, don't they? And revisit a little bit down the line. I think it'll get sorted. I've always felt that I think it'll get sorted, Benjamin. I'm not sure which one I should call you, buddy. But at the end of the day, it's just fans guessing, isn't it? You hope that he signs a new deal, because we all want him to stay at the club. We all love Sadio. Craig, great news. Another cop boy has moved into the Alamo, said Stephen Richards. For those of you who don't know what Stephen means, he lives in an apartment complex or an apartment block surrounded by blue shite. So he said another red has moved in. He likes to call where he lives the Alamo because he's just hounded by blues everywhere he goes. Somebody done it in the chat before. Not being interacting, but enjoyed listening tonight, mate. Thank you, Jace. That's really kind of you, mate. Any compliment from Jace, I always know is genuine, because I respect Jace's opinion a lot on most things football. I particularly love reading his articles and stuff. So thank you, Jace. That's really kind of you. Not messing, Craig. It's a real video. Watch it after the stream. I seen the comment posted in, mate. I will give it a look afterwards. Craig, tomorrow's game sees two most expensive goalkeepers in the world. Let's see how that one works out. Yeah, look, on the two best or the two most expensive goalkeepers in the world, I don't care what Chelsea says. We got the better end of that deal. Kepa is a very good young goalkeeper, and I've no doubt he'll have a great career, but for me, we got a better deal with Alisson. Not that it matters to either team, because they both improved the goalkeeping position. And obviously, as a red, I'm going to say we got the better deal, but I honestly feel like we did. Can't beat a good lurk, says at Jason Roberts, or said Damo to Jason Roberts. I often forget about that. I often think that sometimes people say there's 100 watching and there's 40 likes or something like that. I often forget sometimes that there are people that like to watch the streams or listen to the streams in the background and don't get involved, or aren't people for getting involved in the chat and stuff like that. Sometimes I like not to think about it, because you kind of get nervous with the numbers, particularly with the watch alongs. I think we had 33,000 people watch the game last weekend, or do the watch along with us last weekend. So if I was to sit here and do the streams, and look, that's small potatoes for YouTube. I know people get millions of watches on some videos, but for me, knowing that 33,000 people have looked at some mad, overweight, bald and Irish fella doing alternative commentary on a game of football, losing his fucking marbles, it means a lot. So I try not to think about the numbers at times. Craig, the new cop-out neighbour replaced the United fan. Oh, well, there you go. You're fucking cleaning out the building, Stephen. Can't argue. That's brilliant. They just get a few blue noses out in your sound. Right, guys. Anyway, a couple of last shouts before we finish up tonight. Firstly, don't forget to keep an eye out on the Anfield Agenda Twitter account. From Monday onwards, we'll have the vote to see what your favourite retro Liverpool shirt is from Score or Draw. At the moment, we have a post up with the 15 Score or Draw retro Liverpool shirts. So pop over there, have a look at our pin tweet, and give us your choice for your favourite Score or Draw LFC retro shirt. We're going to put the top 4 to a public vote, and then on Wednesday night we're going to pick out a winner and give somebody their choice of any LFC retro shirt from our friends at scoredraw.com. Don't forget to check out the website scoredraw.com. If you want a 10% discount code on there, just put in the number 3, the word score, and the number 10. So all uppercase, the number 3, score, SCORE, and the number 10, 10. 3 score 10. You'll get 10% off anything at scoredraw.com. Massive thank you to those guys for their ongoing support. To you guys in the chat. These midweek streams sometimes are a little bit quieter than the weekends, but it's always a pleasure to get to know you guys a little bit more with every stream. Thank you for your constant support of the channel. Since we've started, we've had an amazing loyal group of subscribers, and that number is only growing. So I'm stumbling here. I'm stumbling over my words. We appreciate it. It means a lot. So thank you to those of you that have joined the Anfield Agenda family. And it is a family. Believe me, it is a family. To you amazing people who've jumped into the chat tonight, thank you. It's been great fun. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Don't forget to join us for the watch along. About 5:10 tomorrow we'll be going live. And if you've already subscribed, turn on your notifications. I keep saying that to people, but some people just keep forgetting. It takes 2 seconds. Click on the little gear wheel and turn notifications on. That way, when we go live, you guys will be here and ready to go. Until then, one last thank you to everybody, and up the motherfucking Reds.